Boomerang.
I haven't watched Boomerang in a minute.
Yeah, I ain't watching it in a minute. I watched that movie when it came out. Believe it or not. Damn, I feel old right now.
Nah, it's
I feel old right now, man.
Watching 90s movies and music.
Shit, I know I'm getting old after I played Tetris Effect, and I was like, this game blew my mind.
Yeah, I've been seeing you. I've been seeing you on that.
Holy crap, blows your mind, man.
I didn't tell you guys this. You know. All right. So I had gotten Red Dead for Xbox, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I was playing it on the X, right? And then remember I told you, oh, my mom visited me at the house, this, that, or the other, and she gave me a copy of the PS4 version, right?
Cool.
So I ended up refunding the Xbox version, right? Because I had played it less than 2 hours, and then I played it through on the PS4, and then it finished it. So that's why a lot of my screenshots, like you saw, it was coming from my PS4. That's the reason.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah,
that's the reason why. Because I had started playing that game on Xbox. It does, for the record, it does look. That is the game that looks the most. That is the game that visually looks. Absolutely, it looks better on the X. Like there is a noticeable difference between the X and the Pro for sure.
It defines the reason why you have that console, and you can say, okay, this console can do this. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, if you get that on the X, I mean, it's. I would have loved to finish the game, but hey, man, I saved myself $60.
Hey, I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad.
At the end of the day, man.
Yeah, I don't know what is up with me, like mentally. I'm like, I haven't dove. I told you guys I started Red Dead, but I didn't I haven't played it since because I was like I didn't finish Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed is taking me too freaking long, but and I should have it. I should have it beat probably. I'm off tomorrow, so I probably might have it beat in the next 2 days. But
you know what it is, Smooth? Yeah. It's open world fatigue, man. Sometimes, man.
The thing is, I just want to get just play the game, play the story, and call it a day. But the thing is, it's not even that because I'll take breaks and I'll just play literally NBA Live, and I'm literally playing 7 games a day on NBA Live when I'm playing, and I feel bad because I got a lot of games that I haven't started yet. That's in my backlog. It was the game Call of Cthulhu.
Call of Cthulhu.
Yeah. I still got that to play. I got this game called the Council to play. And then a freaking what game I just saw in the store? Freaking Guns, Gore, and Cannoli 2 came out. I'm like, what? When did that happen?
That game is fun.
Hey, all I can tell you, man, I finished Red Dead today. For those of you guys that follow me on Twitter, I know you know this already. Man, it's such an amazing game, man. It really is. The storytelling, world building. The character development is off the charts in that game, in my opinion. A lot of the storylines that you think are going to be a major part of the storyline, later in the game, it's really not the case, not what you think. I don't want to spoil it for anybody, man. You got to play it, but it is.
But you did say that you felt like it was your game of the year, which I know we're probably going to get into the whole VGA award thing, so I don't want to spoil it. So
yeah, it did. I mean, I guess we could cover it there. I did have one gripe about the story, but once everybody beats it, we could talk about it.
Yeah, I can't wait.
We're gonna have a Game of the Year show as well, sometime in December, because we're gonna probably take a break in December, for the holidays, because I don't know what I'm gonna be doing. There's a lot going on coming up, but just to give you guys a heads up, we will be doing a Gotti show. So we gotta make sure we get our nominations ready and all that other stuff. So, and we'll talk about the nominations for a Game of the Year, what we think is gonna happen at the Game of the Award show. Of course, our thoughts on X018. We didn't do a proper introduction. We actually been live for a little bit.
Yep.
We have.
To the chat. Welcome to Planet Xbox episode 66. So shout out to the chat, all the 50 plus people watching at the moment. Introductions of Grind My Gears. Welcome back. How are you doing?
Yo, what's up, guys?
Yo,
camp.
Baby boot camp, you're back, bro. You're back. You're back.
I'm on vacation. I'm at the hotel room now, so it's this is for work now. So I'm
nice.
I know the feeling. I've done the podcast from a hotel room before. I know how that's like.
Nice.
Yep. So I'm glad. Yeah. So, baby boot camp, man. Yeah. It's been crazy the last couple of weeks, but yep, I couldn't break away, but now, I'm back. I'm glad.
Awesome.
Good to talk to you guys.
Hey, man, welcome back, bro. Welcome back.
Definitely.
Hopefully you're enjoying the Red Dead greatness, bro. Hopefully you're enjoying the Red Dead greatness.
You know, when you only have a couple hours to play, like, you know, doing those horseback riding segments, it's like, oh, come on, hurry up. I only have a couple hours.
If you're in the hotel room, do I suspect you take your console with you or not?
I didn't do it this time, man. I can't wait to get back home though. I gotta play some games. I know I would have. I was debating it, but I didn't do it this time. I should have though. That's a good time to bring it to play, you know.
Did they even put like flat screen TVs in hotels?
Oh, yeah. And they got HDMI inputs and stuff like that, and you don't have to deal with that crap.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. It depends how long I'm gonna be away.
Yes, I know. Same thing, Mark. I debate how long I'm gonna be away, whether it's worth it bringing it and stuff like that. Yeah,
it's worth it. If I'm gonna be on the road for a few days, then I may lug it with me. If it's just a day or two, then I'll probably leave it behind.
That's why we need that mobile future, right?
Yeah, man.
What Phil Spencer?
Hey, I got a Switch and I still don't take that thing on the road, bro.
Yo, same here, man.
It's garbage.
Yeah, I got the Switch. It's still in the box.
That's funny.
That Switch, the mobile gaming, I don't want to take that Switch nowhere, bro. You know what they could do? Nintendo give me my money back. This is what they could do.
They can throw it in the bush.
They can throw that thing in the bushes, bro. Shout out to Iron Lord's podcast, bro.
I gotta get myself one of those shirts, man.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, man.
Smooth was on that one. That was hilarious.
The bushes one.
Oh my god. That was on it. That was hilarious.
King David's hilarious, man. He's hilarious.
Oh man.
Throw it in the bushes.
Fallout 76 came out yesterday or
yesterday, right?
Yeah, I played it at midnight when it came out.
And Frog, before we went live, you was telling us some of the experience, the early impressions that you had. I just want you to share that with the chat, because Fallout is not even in my like nebula like at all. It's like it's just not there. So whatever I can learn about what you experienced, and I know you had some things to say about people going at like the way they're going at the game, and they're being like really one-sided about it. So I want you to express your thoughts on the game, what you played so far, what we can expect, and your thoughts on how this game is being perceived throughout like the media outlets, YouTube and Twitter. Yep.
Yeah. So basically, like I said, I've been kind of watching Twitter for like the last last week or so, and I like some things that Bethesda does as far as publishing, and not everything. But what I'll say about Fallout in this aspect is, if you're a Fallout fan, I think that you'll like the game. I think people, I don't want to use who was it? Was it Jason Schreier where he says people are entitled? I don't think people are entitled, but this is what I think. I've seen a lot of things on Twitter, and like I said, people aren't telling the whole truth. They just like telling parts. Like I saw a comment, which I won't name the person who commented, said, "Oh, you can't uninstall the beta, blah blah blah," but that's only the PC version. There's different things that there's and there's different things that are wrong with games all across the board, but the bottom line with this game, and I kind of feel like this, if you're a Fallout fan, this is more Fallout. It's in a different environment. I think that they approached it with, kind of the whole Fallout gunplay, the Fallout kind of the storytelling is the one thing I feel that isn't as strong, from a Fallout aspect. But the key thing you're playing this game for is multiplayer. And that's what really shine. Like the game works. There are lots of people running around. It's proximity chat, so most people aren't in game chat. I mean, they're in game chat. They're not in party chats. So if somebody's yelling and screaming out, "Hey, I need help over here," you can hear them, and everybody that's in that area will run. And I felt like the community, since I've been playing it, is pretty decent, except for one experience. It's pretty decent. Everybody kind of helps everybody out. Everybody, there are people in there. "Hey, man, I found this gun in this cave. Blah 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 blah. Go over here. You can get this from this. There's a bobblehead over here," and and so everybody's kind of helping everybody out. The people I run into, for the most part, the community, I can say, is very healthy. You can get some multiplayer games, and I was like, man, people are going to get in there, killing each other, nuke each other. That's not happening. People are really sticking
to level 5 or something like that.
Yeah. And people are really sticking together with people. I mean, I'm meeting just random people, and they're like, "Hey, man, you want to hang out with me? I got to go fight some la 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 la." I saw Dreamcast guys review, And there's some things I agree with, but there's a lot that I don't agree with. And I think the thing about this game is if you go in it with the mind frame that it's in a sense a Fallout game, and they took the NPCs out and they added multiplayer. So the way you get your quest from like computers, and little bots and little things around, and I think that's the only thing that I didn't like as much as the storytelling, because more or less it's more like you're planning this to go on an adventure with somebody and progressively get better and stronger and build your character up to be bigger and better. But everybody's kind of in a sense somewhat equal, you know. So I think the game, for what it does, the frame rate is pretty decent. It doesn't drop like, you know, I was expecting this game's frame rate to tank like horribly, because, you know, Bethesda games can do that. And I haven't had that problem. I'm playing on the PS4 Pro. Now, I don't know how it runs in the base systems. I think graphically it's probably Fallout 4 quality, maybe slightly better with the lighting, you know, the whole God ray things. But so far I haven't had any major problems, small minor glitches, nothing game breaking. I found nothing game breaking. I found nobody in there that's really like in there trolling you. Like, I had one guy in there, he was a kid. He hit me, he kept hitting me, and I was like, what the hell's going on? And he's just chasing after me, hitting me. And so I turned around and I blasted him with a shotgun, and then we started fighting, and I blew his head off. And then, you know,
Do you talk to people like proximity chat?
Yeah, it's all proximity chat. It's
Okay,
all
gotcha.
proximity chat, and you can be a pretty good distance away, and when you hear him, you can faintly hear him screaming for help or whatever. But then, say for instance, you're not talking, they have the emotes in there too, where you can see like the emote will pop up in the distance. You'll see it and it say help, and you'll see like the little what's his name? Little
Right, you
pit
see
boy.
like the little pop. Oh,
Yeah,
okay. I
and
see
so
what you're saying.
it's I would say if you're a Fallout fan, give it a try. I think that this game is unique. I think it's something very different. I think it's kind of cool for them to try something different. You know, I think a lot of people, they just want the same old. Give me Fallout 5, give me Fallout 6. And if these developers never try anything different, how do we know what we're gonna like and what we're not gonna like? So I think this is a good attempt. You know, it's kind of like, you know, they did the Elder Scrolls Online. It's nothing like that. It's very much Fallout with multiplayer. And I think my biggest flaw for me is just like the way the mission design is structured, where you're not really talking to NPCs. So I don't get that backstory I really want. So there's a lot of reading in this game. If you're not into like reading, and there's a lot of reading, and then your character, you know, he doesn't like in Fallout 4, your character talk. Your character in this one, he's not talking. But I'm having fun so far. And I've been playing for quite some time. I think I'm almost a level 10. But I would suggest anybody, because if you played the beta, you can actually use your character from the beta. Whatever level you are in the beta, you can use that same character and go right into the game. But I would suggest everybody start over with a fresh character, because you will miss a lot of trophies at the beginning or achievements if you don't start freshly coming out the vault. There's a lot of trophies and achievements you'll miss. So for those achievement and trophy hunters, you want to start with a fresh new character. But other than that, I think it's an okay game. It's not game of the year quality. I think it's just something that exists in that Fallout world, and I think it's something that's interesting and it's different. You know?
Yeah, Frogs, when you kill somebody, do you get their loot, or if somebody kills you, do you
No,
loot the
so
loot?
this is how it works. So say, for instance, I get killed. Like, I got killed by the same guy who killed me, and then I put a bounty on his head because he kept killing me. So, and the only way it works is like, if he hits me and I don't attack him back, he takes a very, very like one. It keeps taking my health off 1, and it's very small amounts. As soon as I turn around and engage him and I hit him, then so he kills me, right? When he kills me and I respawn back, there's a skull and bones on the map that tells you, hey, you were killed here. You need to go back and pick your equipment up.
Oh, damn.
So yeah, so
But
you
he
can go
can't
back.
take your equipment though.
He can't take it. No, he's locked out to that. So your
Then why
equipment
do
is
you want people to fight each other? What does it do? Does it level up your abilities?
No,
or something?
I think
why
when
would
you
want
reach-
to kill each other?
I'm not for sure. I think when you reach a certain level, it's a little different, because, you know, people are running around the map actively trying to find these new codes. Believe me, there's parts of the
That's
map.
all they want to do is just blow up.
That's what I see. People are in parts of the map that are level. I seen a guy who was a level 35, and I'm like, how the hell did he get level 35 already? But people are actually looking for nuke codes, and I'm just waiting for a nuke to get set off, because I'm waiting to see that. That's my moment of, okay, this game, holy crap, this game changed because I think when I first see somebody drop a nuke, you know, that'll be what changes me and how I feel about it. But
doesn't the
I
nuke
think-
like
Is
just
that
kill
a nuke
everybody?
in your server? Is that your server, or is that
yeah, okay. How it works is like, say for instance, I start a game, I'm in my world. Say if I join my son and he's playing, I join whatever server he's on. So there's different servers at all times. So you're never going to be in the same server. But whenever you log back into the game, whatever the progress you did, it'll be retained and saved. You know what I mean? It's kind of like you know, I guess you could say like a kind of Call of Duty. You know how Call of Duty, when you play online and you get back online, all your stuff is still there, all your gun. It's a similar premise, like. But I guess the reason the whole fighting thing, I haven't really found a reason to really fight anybody. More or less, I found more reasons to cooperate with people because of experience, and that's what I kind of feel like. More people are really cooperating with each other. They're not really fighting each other.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
not yet, but they wanted those nuke codes, and they want to do the nuke. So the thing is, do you think somebody can get nuke codes and just put them online, or is it just unique?
No, it's gonna require you to do a lot of crap to get a nuke code. It's not something simple. Like, this is not something I see somebody getting really quick unless they.
Trust me, they'll find somebody.
Yeah. Somebody's gonna find a glitch. Some knucklehead's gonna sit there and find a way to get this. But it's gonna be very hard to get these new codes. And I mean, there's some different enemy types we haven't seen. Some crazy stuff that I'm seeing, and I'm like, holy crap. I guess the one thing that is complaint from some people who are kind of a little new to the franchise is you have to eat and you have to drink. But you're so like you have to maintain food and you have to maintain your thirst. But the thing is, you would think it would like go down really quick. It doesn't. Like, I've traveled far distances on the map and I forgot. And I'm like, and my little guy come up and he's like, he looked like he's thirsty, and I'll drink some water that I boiled, and I'm like, cool, and I'll go back to what I was doing. It doesn't come up to a point where it takes you out of the game. But I think it's a decent game. It's a decent game for what it is. You know, for Fallout fans, I think they'll like it. And that's basically it.
Yeah, actually, my GameStop called me like a day early. Like, oh, we got approval to sell it earlier. But I'm like,
what y'all got? They sell it that night, like the night before, like 9 o'clock or something like that.
Yeah, I was like, you might keep that, guys.
Yeah. I really do think Bethesda needs to change their engine because it does feel dated.
I
heard they're going to use it for the next 2 games, like Oblivion and Starfield. They're going to use it.
Yeah, and I don't agree with that.
The hell?
I think their engine needs to change. They need something that's, I don't know, you know, they need their engine needs to change. Their engine needs to change.
Yeah, because their games. I haven't seen a game from really Bethesda that looked that promising outside of like Doom and like I think Wolfenstein maybe.
But I think those are id Tech.
But they're id Tech.
Oblivion looked good. Like the Oblivion, even though it was on the 360, like I think Oblivion is a nicer world. Like it's colorful. Like Fallout's always been dreary.
But that's to be expected. You know? I mean,
yeah, it's a different kind of world. Yeah,
I know, but it's just the thing is, I don't like how they took out is like if combat's such a major focus, they took out the VAT system. I know it was kind of hard to do it.
That's weird.
The multiplayer, but I love VATs in Fallout. That was the coolest thing about it. Like, was that you aim for the parts of the body and stuff, but they took it out.
You can still do that, but it's not the same. You don't slow time down, right? You can't. So you can still like aim for parts of the body and get the headshot and pop the head off or the arm or the leg.
Yeah, you still
but it's in a totally but you don't slow time down. It does feel weird when you first do it. You're like, damn, I want to slow time down, especially when you got like.
You think about it, you really can't slow down time with live players.
Yeah, you can't. It was a cool aspect of Fallout that they had. Frog, did you see anybody building communities and stuff and like not letting you in?
No. Here's the thing. This is how it works. So when you build a community, like say you build a community and I find your community, I can go in your community and actively do stuff I need to do. So I can go in there and craft weapons, craft armor, cook stuff and all that, but I can't go into your box and take your loot and your stuff. Now, if for instance, I hit you while you're in your community and you have turrets set up, immediately your turrets turn on me and they kill me. They know, okay, at this point, you no longer are welcome. I got a hightail out there. So if you have a defense set up and I hurt you in your community, your defense automatically attacks me.
I gotcha. So no, it's okay.
So, but okay. I still probably won't be touching it. What else?
Game? No, I agree.
Merc, you played Battlefield 5? Jez, you guys pllayed Battlefield 5?
No, I haven't played
not yet.
5.
And I have
I'm
Origin.
surprised, Merc.
And I have Origin Access. And I have Origin Access.
What happened, Merc?
You know what it was? That I fell into the Red Dead trap, man.
Oh, the single.
I fell into the Red Dead trap. It's. I mean, dude, that's consumed all my time for the amount of time that I have left over in the
You
day
had
after.
to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
after being a dad and a football coach and working, career
Yeah.
gig, all that
Coach
stuff.
Murph.
Like, I don't have much time, so I invested myself completely in Red Dead, and I'm glad I did. It's amazing, but I hope to get around to playing some Battlefield 5 soon, at least through Origin Access, so I can play it early. In fact, I think I could play it on Origin Access early, starting tomorrow, if I'm not
You should
mistaken.
be able to play it now.
Did it go live?
Yeah, since last Friday, I thought.
Hold
I
on,
thought it went
Origin.
last Friday. Yeah, because
I think you may be right. I think you may be right. I thought it was the 15th, but you're probably right. Access. Let's see.
Wait, what console you getting it on?
If I get it, I mean, I'm gonna have it through Origin Access on PC.
Okay.
I'm undecided on what console to get it on, depending on who's gonna get it. You know what I mean? If some of you guys are gonna get it, I'll buy it either on Xbox or PS4. It just depends.
I mean, I'll have it on EA Access, but I'm not buying it. I downloaded it, but I still haven't touched
Then
it.
you get 10 hours of smooth. 10 hours of smooth.
I'm waiting for a sale, man.
Hey, I'm here to confess my sins. I'm here to confess.
How
my
long did it
sins,
take
bro.
you to beat Red Dead?
I would have to check the save. Like I said, I started it on Xbox and I finished it on PlayStation, so I probably spent more time on it than I needed. But I probably, if I had to guess without looking at the save file, probably about 40 to 50 hours.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I'll probably say about
It's
40
not
to
bad.
50 hours.
Shit, I'm
That's
like
very
48
long,
hours deep into Assassin's Creed, and I don't. And it's
It's
I thought I got
amazing,
another
bro.
20
I'm
more.
gonna be honest with you. I'm sad that it ended.
Really?
I heard that.
I'm
I heard
sad
people
it
upset
ended,
that
man.
it ended.
I'm sad that
That's
it
a good
ended.
feeling, though, man. Like if you feel like that, that game really did something to you. I like that. I like
It
it.
did.
They'll
It
get you with
did,
the
it did,
multiplayer.
It did. Like there's so much I want to say, but I don't want to. I don't want to spoil anything because it's that good of a game.
Game of the year, bro.
It's game of the year for me, for sure.
Did you vote already for the Game Awards?
No, I haven't. But I'll tell you this because God of War obviously is number 2 for me for sure. I think God of War on a lot of other years probably would have easily been game of the year. It just happened to be around Red Dead, and Rockstar did what they had to do. It's not a perfect game by any stretch of the imagination. It's really not. Yeah. But it does a lot of things really, really well.
I think the craziest thing so far from when I played of it is that it made the world the first time that it's really living. Like there's other things besides you in there, which is it's not just NPC random missions popping up. It is just crazy how it feels like everybody's just doing their own thing. Even when you go into a town, like it is just so weird how it really is like a living world, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah, okay, so I really tried when I was playing the game to not get caught up in the, on every little thing that you see on the road and stop and investigate because if not, like those 40, 50 hours have easily turned into a lot more than that. But just like you said, Jez, like the world feels very alive. The amount of detail in the world, like just the way that the characters develop and progress, man, you really start like investing yourself like into some of these characters, which are really new in the Red Dead universe in reality. Some of them anyways, I mean, I don't want to give away anything. I'm sure you guys will talk about it once you beat the game, and hopefully you guys feel the same way. I mean, you're in for a hell of a ride. I'll tell you guys that.
Yo, did you get that side mission with the brother and sister that the guy was like sitting outside of his cabin?
No, not that I remember.
Hey, I won't spoil the mission, but it's just crazy that I was just riding my horse. It just started raining, and there's just some fat guy just sitting outside of a cabin, and he just starts talking to me. And this is there was no little mark on him that this was a mission or anything like that. And all of a sudden, he's like, "Do you want to come in?" And I was like, "To eat something, And I was like, "Sure." And it started raining and stuff. I was like, "Yeah, sure." And it turns into this whole little side mission with his sister and stuff like that. And I was like, "Whoa, this is crazy!" Like this wasn't like a little blip on a map or anything. Like this is just a random house that I just pulled up to, and the guy just starts interacting with me, and it was like it was so cool. Don't trust the hillbillies. That's right.
I heard somebody. I think somebody when I was on Iron Lyrics podcast, they said they had an experience like that, but he said that they got him drunk and they like threw him in the back somewhere.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. What happened?
I heard some crazy things. Yeah,
it was just so crazy because like you would think that this house is not part of a mission or this just like an NPC just happened outside. Now, like it went into a cutscene and everything. I'm like, whoa, this is crazy.
It takes that out. You know how in GTA you can be
Chris,
in the open world and you get derailed. You get derailed. This game does that, but on a way bigger scale and way better, as you can imagine, as it's a current gen game. You know, I mean, it's oh man, you got to play it, man. You got to play it all the way through. It's awesome.
Another question. So do you think this is going to be like just like GTA 5 because it comes out like near the end of the generation? Is this going to be one of those games that we're going to look next generation and be like, oh, this one's going to get like the superior, like, you know, maybe better frames for a second or something like that? Like, are they going to remaster it?
I have to imagine so, man. I mean, it works so well with them with GTA 5. Why wouldn't they do it with Red Dead?
Yeah, right.
You know,
especially. Yeah,
I think it'll get a nice enhanced edition. They'll enhance some things next console. I don't think me and Smooth have a bet. I don't think we're getting any remasters from the PS4.
We'll have to enhance it on the next PlayStation because it's already kind of at its max on the.
Yeah, I mean, so like, what more can they do? Like, there's no reason.
Higher frames per second. Imagine they say like 4K 60.
Yeah, 4K 60. I can see native 4K 60 probably. Yeah,
I'll be copping that on PC day one when it comes on, and I'll replay it again.
See, the thing is, the PC though, it's like a whole different world with mods and stuff. Like that's what 4 did with the mods and like people. Like it was crazy with that stuff.
I mean, look at what GTA 5 looks like with mods. I mean, that's arguably maybe the best looking game I have ever witnessed with my own eyes.
Yeah,
you know, it's crazy.
The high texture mods I've seen, those
mods are crazy.
Realistic mods.
It literally looks like it's real, like you're really going through the. It's crazy. It's crazy.
It's pretty insane.
Question: Sunset Overdrive is coming out for the PC, right? When isn't that like soon? When is that?
I'm not for sure the date. I think it's $20. I think that's what they said, but I'm not for sure the date.
Did they confirm that finally or no?
Yeah, it was finally confirmed. It's coming out for PC.
Is Microsoft publishing it, or they're doing like one of those deals with like THQ Nordic or something?
I don't think it's Microsoft publishing it.
I was under the impression Microsoft was publishing it.
Let me see here. I'll check it real quick. Because I know they don't own the IP, so maybe let's see.
Nah, because if Microsoft was publishing it, that means it'd be exclusive to Windows 10 only.
Yeah, right, but Microsoft did like their second party games that they published. They did put the Steam through another publisher, like Super Lucky Stell and stuff like that.
Nordic or something did like the Disney one.
Oh, it's coming out this week. It comes out this week.
This week, okay. Oh, where is it coming out on? If it's Steam, it's not going to be published by Microsoft.
Steam. Then. Yeah, it's coming out on Steam and
should be the Windows Store, I think, as well.
Amazon.
I'm trying to see who exactly is because I don't think it's Microsoft.
Nobody confirmed it yet. It's still just showing up on the storefronts.
Well, my PC been dusty since Red Dead came out, man. I need to boot that thing back up.
That's funny. Oh my gosh.
I need to boot that thing up.
So here's what else is going
on the store?
Went on this week before we get into X018. I know that's what everybody's waiting for.
Man, there's a lot of news, man. It was just
it's a lot.
Man,
it was a good news week altogether.
Like what? Like I mean, I know we got
gaming.
Like what? Because I feel like I've
okay. Well, if we're just talking about gaming in particular. Like, okay, Xbox news. It was the big thing was the whole XO thing. So
which we're gonna talk about that. But as far as overall gaming news,
Battlefield 5 is getting slaughtered.
Battlefield 5 is getting slaughtered out here on these streets.
Yeah, which was I knew that was gonna happen because we got
Call of Duty 4 added new.
Don't like it, don't buy it.
Yeah, which by the way, I did double dip on that. I dip on.
Oh yeah, I will definitely be playing with you. THQ is setting a record for the number with the most new financial reports of studio games in development. I think they said they had like 30 or 40 something games in development, but they don't consider them. They're not putting the budget of like these big triple or quad AAA as Microsoft says. They're just putting these are B tier games. If they turn out being great and they turn into this AAA project, we'll invest more money in it. So they're able to just put a shitload of games, a crap load of games out. And just
repeat that. I kind of lost you guys in transition.
So THQ Nordic, they have like I think they went on record to say they have like something like close to 40 games actively in development, but they're not their budget is not like Naughty Dog's, like the God of Wars. They're not nearly even on that budget. So these are smaller budget games, but they're kind of with that kind of like what's the game coming out? Darksiders. Like, so expect games in that budget quality, or Biomutant. So and they said they had like close to, I think, 40 something games in development. And basically what happened is they became hold on, maybe the news article, because I had it right in front of me. They set the record numbers with a new financial report with the most games in development for a company.
Oh, wow.
So that's pretty. I mean, the fact that they can, we need those. We need a company to have those kind of like those B tier, those acclaim. Those
they bought the Kingdoms of Amalur IP.
Yeah, which I think that's coming back somehow. So
definitely.
Yeah. So how's Battlefield getting started? Isn't it like an 83, 82 on Metacritic?
I mean, a lot of people, the people that played it earlier are crushing the campaign. I'll leave some names out, but there's been several videos. One from one of our good friends. Crushing the campaign. I did see people that were actually negative on the game. So on the flip side, like who was it? Downward Thrust. He put out a video that he was really impressed with the multiplayer. That they changed. I want to say DICE changed about 132 things that the fans were requesting for the multiplayer. As far as the multiplayer, man, it's that seems to be getting all the praise, but it seems like the story, the single player campaign is getting crushed by most people.
Yeah, see, Digital Foundry did the total opposite. They crushed the multiplayer because it's so buggy and glitchy, where there's just bodies floating in the air, med packs floating in the air, this stupid stuff.
That's how the beta was.
And it's basically, if you played the beta, just imagine the same thing, maybe a little bit cleaned up. So
the beta was glitchy as hell.
But they did say that game runs close to a lock 60 on most consoles. The only thing they were like, just like they kept pounding in, was the original Xbox, the S. And they said that shit runs at like 720p. And that's his max. It can barely hit, and the Xbox can hit 4K every once in a blue moon. The X, it can hit it once in a blue moon, but it doesn't very rarely do it. But it can hit it.
It's the scale of the game is big.
But they said the frame rate is what is consistent, and that's what matters. But that's why I said we need new consoles. Like your base console can hit a 720p. It can barely hit 7. No, come on, we need new consoles.
I'll tell you what. Treyarch cleaned up. Go ahead.
Thanks for Ravenflow. You guys something. Red Dead 2 is game of the year, but this isn't the first or last time a Sony and Rockstar exclusive clashed. Last of Us lost to GTA 5, but some sites gave it game of the year. And I think you're right, Ravenflow.
Yeah, he's right.
We'll talk about that later. Like, I think that they're gonna split. Like, I think a lot of places didn't give Rockstar it, but I do think that God of War is gonna get it from some other sites. I think it's gonna. Those are the two that are gonna be in the conversation, definitely.
Hey, God of War's fire. I ain't taking nothing away from God of War, man.
That was insane.
That thing was a great game.
Yeah, it was good. I thought it was a runaway game of the year. I thought something would happen with Red Dead that would deter them from winning. I thought it was always still going to be a good game, but I thought it was going to be like some microtransaction like issue happened. But they were smart not to release the multiplayer.
Super smart.
Very, very smart not to release the multiplayer just yet. And I think because I thought that what was going to do with it. I think it would have still been good.
Same thing.
The same thing.
They got 10s out of 10s just for the single player, and the multiplayer didn't come out yet. And people are like, how can it be a perfect game without half the game not there?
All these companies are going to start doing the same thing. Watch, they're going to do the same thing with Battlefield. There won't be no microtransactions now. Give it.
What is it? The PUBG mode.
Yep. Yeah, it's coming in
Battle
March.
Royale come out in like March or something like that. That's just going to be played out by the time it gets here.
Yeah, pretty much.
So some other big news. Spiral's come out and they've gotten very well reviews, being well received.
Oh, the Purple Dragon.
Yeah.
Are they doing like a Spiral Crash like dual cell?
It's in digital. Yeah, I've seen it digital. It's like 69 or 79, but I don't know if they're gonna do it physical. I'm pretty sure they probably would.
Awesome. Is that Gaming Addict? He showed up.
Yeah, he showed up. He's there.
Exactly. What up, Addict?
Some other big gaming news. There's servers coming next year for a 360 and PS3. They haven't announced the 360 games, but they did announce the PS3 games. Servers that will be shutting down, and most of them seem like they're games that, like the Sony games, are mostly first-party exclusives. I haven't seen very third-party. So like Warhawk, Twisted Metal, PlayStation All Stars, Sounds and Shapes. So to start next year, expect some of your 360, your PS3 titles. Servers to kind of go offline. They're at a point where they're like, shit, it's going into the 12th year, 11th year, something like that.
Yeah, it's time.
Yeah, it's time to shut some of those servers down and do something else with them.
Yeah, at least they're not as bad as the baseball servers. They turn them off after the one.
Yeah, the baseball. I don't like that bullshit. Like
the show, man. They turn off the servers like the year before.
Hey, they want you to buy the new one, man. They want you to buy the new one.
They gotta move the hamsters.
Nah, you know what it is? It's low key another way to keep you on a subscription if you look about it like that. If you're a baseball fan.
Madden really never like EA. Well,
nah, EA don't do that. Nah, EA doesn't do that.
Nah,
EA doesn't do it. 2K does it like every I want to say 2 to 3 years.
2K got shit servers too in all their games.
Yeah, but now EA has less likely to do it because since they started introducing Madden cards like back in 2014. They still make a ton of money off of that. They still make a ton of money off that.
They're not gonna shut that revenue.
I'm like, why would we shut our revenue off?
Yeah.
They think we stupid.
So in big Xbox news, I don't know if you read this news. This is a big one. It popped up and everybody's talking about it. Game Pass. You know how we thought Game Pass games wouldn't leave Game Pass. They're leaving Game Pass. They announced 7 games at the end of November that are leaving Game Pass.
Wait, clear that up. They you mean how we thought games wouldn't leave? They said,
well, you know how some people they thought once games were in Game Pass they would stay there forever. And
only Xbox games, they're original, their branded games.
Yeah, first party games will stay. Third party games can go.
And so now they've announced their first 7, I guess, games to officially leave Game Pass at the end of November. So I don't know what number, if they're just going to stick with 7 every, month. So
no, because I thought it was consistent. For the last time they took games out was August.
Yeah.
So is it every month or is it every couple of months?
I thought it would be every month, but so far
I think it's every couple of months.
This would be like the second time they've taken games out.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. From what they announced. Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you. And most of the games they're leaving, I don't think people.
Oh, but they took out Fallout 4, those shady bastards.
Did they?
Yes, they did.
Fallout 4 just went in.
No, Fallout 4 came out for
that's because 76 is out.
Yeah, some of the bitches, Bethesda.
Yeah.
You want to play Fallout? Buy the new game.
Exactly. You think they're gonna keep people happy in Fallout 4? I'll just take you on Game Pass. Like, nope.
But Bethesda laying down the D for everybody who's playing Fallout 4.
They're shoving it in your vault.
I don't know. People are really concerned about the 7 games that are leaving Game Pass because they're not games you're like, oh my gosh, why are these leaving?
Wasn't Fallout 1? Let me see.
Yeah, well,
Fallout was there for like 2 months, or so.
Fallout was leaving.
It's like Resident Evil 0, Technomancer, like Mega Man 10.
Technomancer was garbage.
Yeah, it's like games that people, I don't think outside of maybe Mega Man and Resident Evil.
Yes, Fallout 4 is one of them.
People are not going to care about it. That's what I think. People won't care.
I'm sure they inked that with a marketing deal for 76. Oh, let us put your Fallout 4 game in.
No.
Fallout 4 was due to leave at the end of November. And they're doing Brothers, Resident Evil 0, Sherlock Holmes, Technomancer, which was a bad game. War of Mine, and then
horrible.
Yes.
I remember I was game sharing with Gladiator dude, and he bought that game, and I thought, hey, this looks interesting. I turned that shit on, I swear to God, I was so upset on how bad this game was. I was like, why'd you? I hit him up. I was like, why did you buy this game? Like,
you talking about Fallout?
No, the Technomancer. It's probably the worst game with one of the coolest cover arts.
It was
Technomancer, Jolly Rancher, can keep all that.
Jolly Rancher.
Say what, Addict?
Microsoft, man, they didn't even have to buy all these companies that they're buying. You know all they had to do?
What was that?
Make studios and buy THQ Nordic.
Pretty much.
As many games they put out.
Dude, like, I'm just sitting here like, every time I turn around, THQ buys something else.
Yep.
I'm just sitting here like, they gotta, like, all it would take is someone to have some serious cash flow come in the market in the console industry, buy they shit, and to just start making really good talented studios and start making like really good exclusives that been rehashed. Because a lot of people would be down. Like, imagine if, like, because I think they own Attack All Humans.
Yeah, they bought Bugbear, so now we're gonna finally get for that wrecking game.
Imagine if they started like
wrecking game.
Bringing these games back out like in the caliber like that Capcom's doing with Resident Evil 2. But
I got you.
At the moment, it's just looking like they're wanting to nickel and dime you with like $30 titles because Darksiders 3 is kind of looking spooky, but
Well, if you listen to what they were saying, they said that they're basically like the equivalent of an Acclaim or a THQ. They're here to release their $30-$40 title games. They're not here to develop major blockbuster AAA or quad AAA games. That's what they said. They said they're not here for that. That's not. They're putting small budgets into games, and they'll be able to pump them out quicker. That's what they're here for. They're
yeah, maybe that's what Microsoft is trying to do.
If you look at them, yeah.
Games.
THQ Nordic and just put Game Pass games. They make Game Pass games basically.
Yeah.
Well, you know what?
They remastered Red Faction. They were the ones that published Red Faction Guerrilla. That remastered.
That came out recently.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they made. It's so funny looking at these.
Yeah, you know this whole, now that we're talking about Game Pass, you saw the whole thing with PS Now as well, like that they got like what 40% of the subscriptions or 50% or something like that.
So that's right.
Some crazy thing like that.
Surprise.
I'm like, damn, bro, for people that don't want subscriptions, this is sure a hell of a lot of people getting them. You know?
Yeah, that was pretty crazy.
That's kind of crazy.
I was surprised with, it wasn't even Game Pass. I was surprised with how low EA Access was, because it's been on there for over 4 years. You think it would have a little more revenue because it'll have more potential for subscribers over 4 years. It's been there long, EA Access.
It's only on one platform though, and I'm assuming that that chart did have Origin Access, right? It did have Origin on there.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, that was separate. Keep
in mind that Dish Network only owns like 18% of the cable market, and they make multi-million dollars every year. So
I was just surprised EA Access, because it's been there almost as long as PlayStation Now. It came out.
If you did the numbers of Game Pass, if you took what that quarter was, that quarter was worth what, 270 million. Game Pass was probably worth like 40 million of that. And God knows what the number of PlayStation was standing at as far as the millions. But it's a decent amount, and that was the third quarter, right?
Yeah, third quarter. Yeah, it was like a 52%, and then the other ones like EA was at 13, and then Game Pass was 15, and then Origins was separate.
Yeah,
but I was surprised with EA Access, because I thought EA Access on Xbox was going to be bigger.
What
than that.
PS Now needs to fix is they need to fix those PS4 like downloadable games, like the libraries, like the it works. But what I'm saying is that the libraries like. I don't know. I don't like it too much. It's real scarce.
See, that's the thing with the PlayStation Now. Like, it's different than where Xbox is having Game Pass. Game Pass is like their
constant. It's constant. Like they constantly add into it.
Where PlayStation Now is more like a supplementary subscription, because it complements new games, because they're not putting new games day and date in it.
Right.
But that's where Microsoft kind of overlaps. It's like that's their initiative. That's like the gaming launch platform.
What I'm trying to say is that I thought that they would have they would be more active in getting more third-party games in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's kind of scarce. Like it's a lot of like smaller titles, and then you got a couple big titles like Mafia 3. I don't know. I'm just talking off the top of my head. I would have to boot up my PS4 to look at it. But I remember I was looking at it last night, and I'm like, damn, like the selection's kind of scarce. But then again, they just started doing it like where you could download PS4
games. Yeah.
You know what they should do? Just put their PlayStation hits that are $19.99 in there.
I agree with you. No, dude, that'll definitely solve the problem.
They don't have Uncharted 4 in there. They don't have Lost Legacy in there.
Right.
You know where I can see that taking off more now too? Like come next gen, since everything will be like back compatible, they'll probably drop in their Uncharted 4, Horizon Zero Dawn, and they'll do that as like a prelude, like heading into like the sequels and all that stuff.
Yep.
I can see that driving up PS Now.
Yeah, now that they got that whole PlayStation Hits thing, like I bet you once they get out of the Hits retail, they'll start going into PlayStation Now stuff. Like I can see next year probably them putting maybe Uncharted 4 in there.
Yeah, the subscription thing is here to stay though. With Game Pass doing so well, and Origin Access and PS Now, it's here to stay. Which look, I'm not one of those that I'm a hate on it. I like having the option. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I like having the option.
There's a lot of games in there. So you just got to get the streaming better for that, because it does work if you do like a Ethernet cable, but man, if you do Wi-Fi, it's kind of shaky.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. If you really think about it though, man, like PlayStation is what makes Sony money for the most part. They're the biggest division by far at Sony. I'm pretty sure that they're like, all right, I ain't gonna let Google and Microsoft and all these guys beat me to the punch of the streaming. I'm pretty sure they got a bunch of engineers in there looking at what they're gonna do going forward.
Well, yeah, they got an avenue. You
It's
know,
gonna be
they ain't
big.
buy Gaikai for nothing.
I'm gonna tell you one thing though. I've noticed that ever since Microsoft did the thing with Game Pass, they have put a lot more attention and have better games into PlayStation now than what they were doing.
Oh,
They
yeah.
definitely-
Oh, yeah.
and they fixed the
Competition's
dashboard.
good,
Competition,
man.
man, that's
Competition
good.
is good.
And that's
You
I'm
gotta
sure
have
firsthand because I've seen the dashboard update, and then they even did another dashboard update now where they're going to have downloadable games, selectable. They're going to have streaming games, so now you don't have to try to identify which ones are downloadable. It's going to have a section for them. So they're definitely like going after basically competing with Game Pass. But once Game Pass launched, PlayStation now Sony like woke up like, oh shit, we got to do something. This thing was like a dying area, but yeah,
Competition's good, man. I'm
It's gonna be-
all with it, man.
it's got to be good. I definitely think.
So,
And I just saw somebody wrote something where it was like, what's wrong with making Game Pass games? I'm like, there's nothing wrong with Game Pass games. It's just the one fear that I always had when Microsoft said they're putting their games in Game Pass was that I'm just afraid they're going to make games for the subscription model. And there has to be a balance. There has to be like a Forza, but there can't be like all these kind of, these games that are like episodic or something like that. Like, don't make games for Game Pass with the anticipation that people are going to subscribe, but like you need to have a balance. Everything can't be like a service.
I agree with that.
Their overall goal is I think that's the reason Sea of Thieves. They didn't back down on Sea of Thieves. They actually hired like 2 more studios to help with Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, they built up.
They want like one or like here. The thing is, they need like 2 or 3 like Overwatch quality games, and I don't mean like quality isn't like a shoot or anything like that. I mean quality is a community that constantly supports it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And
Totally
if you have 1 or 2 of those, Game Pass will be fine just with those 2 or 3 games.
Yeah.
They'll sustain the service. Yeah.
I think Game Pass will be okay
I think
because they're getting a third-party developer support, and that's what I've always looked at and said if they get that support, and they're getting some day one support, so I think they'll be okay.
I think that
they'll
was
be
one of the reasons they bought Obsidian.
Well, yeah, you know what?
They
Because I
want
heard
that Pillars of Eternity 3 to be their service
I
game. on
heard
Game
that
Pass.
Phil said it in a recent interview when he was down in Mexico. He was saying something where third parties are going to be creating their own stores, like you see with EA Origin and all that other stuff. Like a lot of the big third parties are not really interested in it. It's more for like the second tier or in these ones that have a distribution platform for Game Pass. And I think and that's why I think they're buying their studios so they could ensure the quality that goes in and then get AA and other ones from third party. Unless EA or they could get TH Nordic or somebody to jump on and support them. It looks like it's more of a that because it looks like everybody else wants to do their own thing, like Bethesda Net and all the other distributions. Like everybody wants their own.
That's going to be
shit.
very expensive, dude.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you have to find a way to make it marketable.
You have
to find a way to make it marketable to the consumer to make money off of it, but at the same time, it has to be able to be good for them too, so it doesn't eat them up, And I think that the future, you'll see that. I think Game Pass, PlayStation Now, I think that's a viable source of how we play games. I don't think it'll be the only way, but I think it'd be an option.
The sad part about it is what I see them doing with Sea of Thieves. It's just like you guys. It's like they launch shit that looks appealing to Sea of Thieves, but it's like at the end of the day, it's like Arena look lit, like servers that's strictly for PvP, and I'm like. You got to do something with the progression system. No one cares if there's nothing.
You know what though? The arena looks good though, but the combat, like when you're in the actual character, is bad. I can see it being fun when you're on the boat. I can see it being fun when you're on the boat.
People shooting point blank at each other, not knowing if they're hitting each other.
That's one of those things that I don't know how good it's going to translate. Like when you actually play it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, playing with sword fights in that game is like watching bum fights.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad they're doing something though, man. You know what I mean? But look, like the thing with Game Pass, look, man, give me Forza Horizon 4 quality games, and you'll see everything will work itself out.
Fire.
That game is fire, man.
I'm gonna say something funny that I put this tweet out there during. Aaron Greenberg, it's like the mode you've been asking for. Then he put a poll out, and it's like you want competitive or you want the campaign or the adventure mode, and like it was like 60% to 20% adventure mode. People like we don't want the fighting mode, and you got to think about it. Is like the people that are remaining right now and playing Sea of Thieves are the people that want to role play, and like they probably got rid of that whole combat thing. They probably hated those people that just wanted to shoot them. Now that they're trying to be collaborative and role play as pirates, they don't kind of want this like deathmatch mode. Like this should have been there on day one, like deathmatch mode, because now I might split the player base.
That's so
Ain't gonna
strange
split the
to hear
player
on a
base, I mean-
Microsoft platform, right? That's so weird to hear on the
Well, the
Xbox
combat's so
platform.
dead in that shit. Like, nobody wants to be shooting and
Like
know,
you
the-
think Xbox and you think
Well,
shooters,
that's not
man.
gonna
You know,
that's not going to split the player base. All that's going
just
to do
attract new people, I guess. All right,
yeah, is bring people that drop the
Yeah.
game back into the game.
maybe,
I
yeah.
don't think they're saying they'll try that, but
They'll try it.
I can't wait to try it. But
I'll
hey,
give it
but
a shot.
speaking
I'll
of
give it a
Sea of Thieves, since we're talking about it, it was nominated for best multiplayer game.
oh my god.
I voted for it.
Yeah,
No,
I
I
voted
did.
Of
I did
course.
not. I did
Yeah.
not. Well, I
It's
have
like,
not
yeah,
voted
well,
at all.
why
but I
wouldn't
will.
I? I mean, what else? There was nothing really else to vote for.
Hey, bro, Black Ops 4,
What-
best
what were the
multiplayer
games?
game
Why did you
again.
not vote for
Yeah,
Black Ops?
and Black Ops is there. I think I voted for Black Ops. I didn't vote for Sea of Thieves, obviously.
Sea of Thieves.
Yep.
Best multiplayer. Oh goodness.
But I guess we'll get to the awards in a
Look,
minute.
I need Rare to
know we got some-
reimburse me for my wasted bandwidth downloading that game.
I did have to, but the one thing I do have to say about that game, as much as I dislike it, it did give me the biggest laugh of the year of putting that guy in the cell and watching him drown. I swear. I still
I'm
laugh.
gonna tell you what though, it did provide a gaming highlight for me this year.
Yes, it did.
When
And
Smooth
it- I
double
guess it
parked
did.
that boat between two
Yes.
rocks.
Oh my god! I took so many freaking pictures of that double parking smooth on that thing.
Hey, I don't know if I got a
We might have to
screenshot
jump
of
back
that.
on it, try it again.
Yo, that
go
was a
on
trip,
cruise.
I ain't
I
gonna
don't know.
Low key, that
We gotta look for the
was a
Kraken.
lot
We
of
gotta
fun
go
though. I
find
ain't
the
gonna lie.
Kraken body. I think it's there somewhere. Maybe we'll just make like a Planet Xbox mission where we'll all get on a boat, a galleon, and say we gotta find the Kraken, and we'll have Smooth go find the body. Well, we shoot the tentacle. We'll be extreme.
Hey,
Smooth, go
man.
find that body. We jump, bro.
Hey,
Jump
bro.
overboard.
I just need Playground to deliver on this open world game, bro. Give me a quality
Oh,
game like
man.
Forza Horizon 4, bro. I'm ready.
Dude, to be honest with you, it's not even like
Ready.
I'm looking at Playground, but like Microsoft has like bought a couple quality studios now. Now I'm kind of looking for the Playground's game, like not Playground, Obsidian's game, because Obsidian made one of my all-time favorite games.
What game is that? Talking about Fallout?
They made
Vegas?
they made Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah.
I guess with Obsidian, I guess my only problem with Obsidian is I just want to see what they can make that's their original IP. And that's my
Well,
only
they
thing.
did.
I think no, what I'm
Pillars of
saying is,
Eternity is
Yeah,
extremely
and I don't think that's a bad game. I'm just saying I'm looking forward to seeing what they can craft that's not really a licensed game. It's their own original, because I think Pillars of Eternity is cool. But I'm really looking forward to, because I think they're a very talented studio. I just think they kind of, just reading their whole interview and why Microsoft bought them and all that, they were going to go down. And I'm happy that Microsoft, I would rather see Microsoft or any company buy them than for them to go away, because they're such a talented studio. There's some people who are like, no, they should have just went away instead of Microsoft having them. No,
Yeah,
that's
people are
They joke
ridiculous.
by it.
when people say that, they're mentally there's something wrong with
They're
them.
mentally
They should be- I
unstable,
should be
yeah.
watching my profession.
You shouldn't want people to
can't-
lose their jobs.
You
That's
should
bullshit.
it's not even that. You shouldn't want such a talented development studio to die. Like that's, I wanted Visceral to stay around
Hey.
because,
It
I
could
think-
be worse. They could have been bought by E EA.
oh
shit.
God. Then they would
I
definitely
think a
got
company
closed down.
going down. There's no. I think a company going down, regardless who picks them up, it's not bad.
Let EA buy a studio.
I
The end is
Even
near.
even if EA popped in and they stopped Obsidian from going under, as much as that would
piss me off
suck,
so bad.
as much as that
Yeah.
would
That
suck,
piss me
at
off.
least they saved them.
Look, it pisses me off that EA is
Hey.
publishing Shadows Die Twice. I'm so irritated.
Hey, there's only 2 studios
Yeah, it's
at
Activision
EA that are
Publishing.
safe. All right.
No, I'm sorry, Activision. Yeah, I'm pissed about that. I'm like, you don't deserve to publish freaking anything from software. I hate that. I don't want Activision or EA to publish anything I like.
Again, Merc, who are the two people that are
Hey,
safe?
the only 2 studios that EA has that are safe from not closing are EA Tiburon, which they make Madden, right?
Yeah.
And Dice.
Nice.
Outside of that, man, anything that they buy can
The reason
potentially
why they
close
got
tomorrow.
Dice is because Frostbite got them all by the balls. They got Frostbite on
correct.
their balls because that's the engine they use for everything.
That is correct. Dice helped
I
develop
totally
that engine.
Yo, they even got rid of their Ignite engine. Remember that was the big thing
Yeah,
going
I
into
remember
Ignite?
that. Right.
They nixed that Ignite engine and they went with Frostbite in all their sports games.
Yeah, they did. FIFA was the first, of course, because that's their biggest money maker. And
Then
then Madden, which was Madden 17, was the first year on Frostbite.
I'm still waiting on this. Canadians work a little slow.
I'm still waiting for Madden to improve dramatically because of Frostbite. It hasn't. Still the same shit.
Yeah. That real play motion was some horseshit too.
That was some bullshit. It's Madden 17 reskinned. It looks a little nicer. That's it.
Well, we put a towel that's moving around this guy's waist.
But you know, when it comes to Hero Dies Twice, I'm not too worried about that because I feel like.
Wait, Heroes Die Twice. Wait.
Shadows Die Twice.
Shadows Die Twice.
Shadows
Die
Twice.
Heroes Die Twice. I thought that was like the No More Heroes sequel. I'm like, what
the sequel.
Shadows Die Twice. I know what you mean.
It's like what's Activision going to say? I really feel like when it comes to that, like the only thing is like. Help us with marketing, publish our game, but you ain't interfering in shit with us, and I don't think there ain't a damn thing Activision could do about that. What are they gonna do?
All right, we ain't doing it. Why go to Activision to publish it? Anybody?
Because Activision's the king of marketing.
Yeah. Bro, they got me to buy Destiny twice, man.
And then tell you they're not happy with them. Right? That was the news. They weren't happy with Destiny.
That's how good Activision
that was
marketing
the big news.
is.
They weren't happy with the sales of
Destiny.
Of Destiny, the expansion, or Call of Duty for that matter.
Let me comment on this because I actually play a lot of Destiny here. Like, I've been following like the whole Activision thing. They weren't happy. At the end of the day, you know, they're not okay with dollars. They want your dollar too. They want merch dollar.
Yes.
See, at the end of the day, you can't sit here.
Your kids' dollars.
You can't demand something when you're the reason the game was where it was.
Yes.
So, like, you know, people are, you know, and they're talking about the monetization thing. They already announced the monetization thing. It's called the yearly pass thing.
Yes.
So, you know, what they're pretty much doing is they're not going full month subscription because they would get murdered for that, especially on consoles too. What they're doing instead of that is they're doing like a yearly subscription you could pay for like $30 or $40, and you get access to, you know, exclusive stuff. And, you know, I see people already complaining about it. At the end of the day, like, they won't come out openly say this is an MMO. They won't, because they don't want to deem it as an MMO. But, you know, it's still got the MMO aspect of it, so people need to understand that. Like, there is nothing that's going to change on that. I think it's good for Destiny. I think that. Did you guys see what the person who's in charge of one of the lead charge? Did you see what he put on Twitter?
I don't remember what he wrote. I remember he said something to counteract that Activision not being happy.
He said that pretty much regardless what the sales are, Bungie set out to make a game that we're proud of and our fans like, and we did that.
Yes.
And like, he pretty much. Like, and his name's Luke Smith. He's pretty much like one of the big people. But he pretty much told her, like, look, did we meet expectations? No. But at the end of the day, when your game's completely dead and you give a resurge, you're not going to resurge back to former Destiny.
I think it had to do with Forsaken, but the model that it seems that's more beneficial to game is Activision didn't like how they kind of gave everybody what they wanted or something like that in the Forsaken.
No, they didn't. What it is they expected a huge surge of return Destiny 2 players, and a lot of gamers are not forgiving.
Nope.
I don't know why they see. Here's the thing: Call of Duty has killed this industry, kind of like Fortnite's killing it now. It's set a higher expectations that is not physically possible.
Mm-hmm.
And they're used to this Call of Duty money every year. And when it keeps going down, for some reason, they don't lower their standards for next year. Oh, it was just a fluke. Next year.
You cut out?
Sometimes you got to take the good with the bad. And Activision's never been one of those companies. Like,
I agree.
Didn't they launch like Black Ops 4 making like 500 million?
Black Ops 4 outsold Red Dead in the same time period it sold.
It's gonna win MVP.
Red Dead made more money, but Black Ops 4 outsold Red Dead.
Oh, but like units, like actual units.
The out units, yeah. So the month that it came out, Red Dead made more money, but Blackout was the bigger selling game. And we, because we talked about that, which one is going to be the biggest selling game? Everybody said Call of Duty. Well, Call of Duty for October was the biggest selling game. And then when Red Dead came out,
sold a lot of collector's editions.
there you go.
Hey, that means Jay Barry. That means BG's gonna owe Jay Barry a game, right?
What did you say? That Red Dead would outsell Call of Duty?
Yeah.
Nah, there's no. But here's the other thing, and I'm just gonna touch on that so I know we can move on. The main problem with Destiny is Destiny makes money. The game is not dead. The game is nowhere dead. That when you can log on and you can find people playing, that's not a dead game. So the problem is Destiny.
It's on the top 5 of the most played games.
The problem with Destiny 2 is they catered to the casual when it first came out. Then they catered to the hardcore, and the casuals don't like it. The casuals are what they want to come back. The hardcore people like, and I'm pretty sure that Game and that can probably agree. I remember when I first played Destiny and I got a gold weapon so quick, I was like, what the hell? Why did I get this so quick? It wasn't unique. Everybody was just getting it, and they catered towards the casual. Now it's so hard to get this stuff, and I'm like, this is Destiny. I want it, but the casuals don't want this, and they're not coming back for it.
There's not enough drops in it.
Yeah, so the problem is they want the casual back. They don't want the hardcore. They want the casual market. But the game is nowhere near dead. When you can get on and it's actively full of people, the game is nowhere dead. It's not a Cliff Bleszinski game, it's doing, and I don't mean that as far as Gears of War. I'm talking about the last Cliffy B game he made. The game is actively, the game is actively, people are always on Destiny. The game is nowhere near dead. They're a greedy ass company, and they didn't make what they thought they should make, and that's what they were saying. We were so greedy that we should have made more money.
Profit too. That's the funny part.
It's talking about Tomb Raider not being successful. Remember that? Tomb Raider didn't make enough money.
I really am starting to feel like these companies just have an unrealistic expectation. Like it's that GTA effect. Everyone wants GTA money, but no one got GTA product.
Thank you.
I know what they got to set them standards like Microsoft. Microsoft's is going beyond their expectations. So everybody set up Microsoft expectations. You'll be successful.
Oh, yeah, shout out to Cliffy B. He's a good guy.
Microsoft says they're beyond their expectations. I don't know. Everybody else is just not meeting their expectations.
So smooth. We're gonna talk about this XO because I know we're gonna talk about the Game Awards, but I'm interested to see what everybody thinks, man.
Well, the Game Awards is not that big of a subject since we're gonna have our own show because only the nominations just came out. So but the X018 came out. Everybody stayed to watch. Everybody had a lot to say about it. And it came, it went, it happened. Was it what you expected? Better than you expected? Worse than what you expected?
I personally thought that it was unnecessary for them to even have an XO.
You feel like it was unnecessary?
I think this could have been done in 30 minutes. And it was unnecessary. I had put it on Twitter. I said this was a tax write-off.
You understand it was like a weekend. Why is it a tax write-off if it takes place in Mexico?
Okay, they went to Mexico, number one. It's a tax write-off. They just needed some place to go to have a tax write-off. That show was abysmally awful. And I think, for when you see the Inside Xbox, was it better than the average Inside Xbox? Yeah, but not by much. And I think it was a waste of 2 hours. Like, I want my time back. Crackdown was interesting from what I saw until they showed the multiplayer where you could physically lock on to people, and I was like, "That's going to be." You
played Crackdown before?
That was the original Crackdown.
I'm talking about Crackdown 3. I'm talking about Crackdown 3.
Yeah, but all Crackdowns you had to lock on.
I never really got into the multiplayer. So
Crackdown 2 has the same exact gameplay as Crackdown 3.
So what I'm saying is, I never got into the multiplayer. I only played,
but it is it wasn't fun.
When they talked about the multiplayer, I thought, okay, this is going to be something different. I was like, wait, you can lock onto your people when you're playing. I was like, no, I don't want to play that. I'm interested in what the single players. I'm not really interested in the multiplayer, but I think the game, from where it stands, from what I saw, I think I'm like, okay, this could be interesting. This may be something interesting to play. But as far as that, the rest of the show was like whatever. I mean, shoot, Phil Spencer even slipped up one time and said PlayStation. I was like, is he listening to himself?
Let me ask you this question as regards to Crackdown 3. Does everybody feel they saw enough of the game, or nope. I came out saying
nope.
I really didn't see enough of the game like for me to have like an opinion on it. You know what I mean?
I think that was strategic. I think the reason they didn't show you a lot, people were first off. I think this entire thing was made for that one announcement, that one reveal, and I think that and the Obsidian, the 2 accusations. That's the whole reason this whole thing happened. It seems like they were doing a lot of fill-in shit. Like, shit.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'll tell you what my issue what it was. Yeah, it's better, I guess, than the usual Inside Xbox, but the fact that they called it an XO and what they've done with the XO conference in the past, that XO branding normally has been something major is going to occur like at Xbox. So
see, here's the thing. Let me give you a scenario. Obviously, it's a scenario that could never have happened. Let's say Obsidian wasn't leaked. Would we be saying the same thing? If we didn't know Obsidian was even being talked to until that
probably played into it. You're probably right. That probably played into it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The leaked news. I think
the leaked news did take some out of it. But still not a new game. It's still
no, it doesn't matter though. Like they bought Obsidian.
No, but you're right. You're right though. I actually didn't look at it.
And we already knew. If no one knew, it would be a completely different scenario right now.
I'll be honest with you. You're probably right. Like looking at it in that light, you're probably right.
Look how devastating it was when the Master Chief Collection was leaked a couple years ago. Like, if no one knew that the Master Chief was going to be at E3 and it just popped up there and they're giving you 4 games, regardless, this is before we knew the game was trash and it was broken. Like, it would have been a huge more, like, Microsoft needs to do whatever they can because these leaks are out of control. It's ruining their whole image.
Yeah, I think
I agree with you.
Obsidian purchase was good.
It would have been nice. I don't think it would have been the headliner.
I think the Ninja. Ninja Theory was a bigger surprise to me than Obsidian. No,
because think about it.
I don't agree. Like, here's the reason you say that is because we didn't hear anything about Ninja Theory.
Yeah, but I think if they said, "Oh, we're buying Obsidian," I didn't know about it, I'd be like, "Oh, okay."
I'm gonna tell you what. The reason why they made that the headliner was because of the reaction they got at E3. The E3 people were excited about the studio announcements. So, because if you remember, after E3 feels like, oh, I didn't know about announcing the studios. Like, people would be that excited, like, amazing about it. So they probably now use that as the headliner of XOs, figuring that people were excited about the studios. Let's say some studio announcements for XO.
The reason this was called XO is they didn't name this an XO. Where else are they going to?
Twitter.
Where else are they going to announce this?
Paris Games Week. Nah.
No, they can't. No, this is.
Oh my god!
Okay. They can't.
It's in December. It's in
put
December.
this on Twitter. I don't think. See,
my thing is why is it recommend? You know what? You're not allowed to have an event or announce anything.
You can have an event, but
unless it's like it has to be this. Otherwise, you should post it on.
Fly everybody down to Mexico to say that you bought a studio in America.
They didn't fly anybody to Mexico, only but their employees.
They flew Joseph Staten. Well, I'm saying they flew all the people.
They fly their employees everywhere. What are you talking about?
When's the last time you saw Joseph Staten?
Oh my God, that's not the point. We're not talking
that
about one individual person. We're talking about.
Did anybody understand this was a whole weekend event? Like, I don't understand. Like, are they not like?
No, I know it was a weekend event.
This was like a giant fan fest event. It's like people like they should cancel the whole thing because they didn't like what was announced. Like, I don't understand that mindset.
This should have been a Crackdown show. This should have been all about Crackdown.
Really?
If those studio accusations weren't there, I guarantee you it would have been just a regular Inside Xbox. But
that's what it was.
But those studio accusations, you can't just announce those on Twitter. Like, you can't.
No, I think they could have did that.
That can affect their stock.
So let me ask you a question.
The stock guys are watching Inside Xbox on Saturday.
You don't think that a company buying something can affect someone's stock?
Of course they can, but it doesn't have to be on Inside Xbox. Like, it was just. I'm not saying that they shouldn't have announced it there, but the thing is that was the headline. They used it as a teaser. You look at the breakdown. They basically say that.
So what? Like, does it matter how things are presented? Like, it is what it is. Like, why is it like
Crackdown launching in February and they got hidden cameras? You're not allowed to take photos. Have you seen a lot of gameplay? People are not allowed to capture it. So, you got the game launching in February 15th.
That's how it always is, though. At E3, you couldn't do the same thing.
But the game's launching February 15th. No beta was announced.
They showed actually
3 second clip.
We tried to there was a game that Lord Cognito tried to actually record, and the person asked him to turn it off, and it wasn't Crackdown. Like that's a standard thing. They don't like that being any kind of
But
recording.
they didn't even have a package reel or anything. They just had a minute. Like Joseph Staten came down and he's helping write the story to Crackdown. They showed a little bit of multiplayer. The people were able to play multiplayer down there, but nobody's allowed to capture it. So we have like a second clip on Twitter. Like they should have talked more about Crackdown.
This was trash. There's no way around
not
that.
Game's
delayed,
coming
like,
in February.
There was,
come on.
but
We got a date. We got a date. At least you ain't asking when it's coming out.
This
exactly.
event was
That's right.
trash. I don't want
Should've been
anyone
talking
trying
about
to sit there
February
and say I'm damage controlling the event because it was trash. But at the end of the day, it's like, was it trash because of the stuff that you didn't like, or was it trash because they didn't announce them? They announced plenty of stuff.
Yeah.
No, the news was
games,
fine from it. It's the presentation. Inside
Not the
Xbox
presentation,
has to
though.
go.
Like, bro,
Inside Xbox has to go. Is a
No, they need to
goofy-ass,
fix that,
stupid-ass
kid.
shit.
They need to fix that. There's no way around
Inside
that.
Xbox is a goofy ass show. Has to go.
I
It is
thought
just
that
a.
was just too
it is
long
dog.
for the
I'm
stuff
gonna
that
tell
they
you. You
talked
wanna know
about.
how goofy Inside Xbox is? Major Nelson, stupid ass, jumping around, crazy Larry. The biggest
See, here's the
announcement was a
thing, like-
$399. Wait a second. The biggest announcement was a $399 Xbox One X, and it was hidden.
the biggest
Hey,
announcement
Larry,
to
stupid
me
ass thing.
was the studio acquisitions, the Crackdown 3 release date, and how they.
$400 Xbox One X was hidden. It wasn't. Nobody mentioned because it was stupid hidden and the stupid crazy Larry running around like a nutcase. That's
Look,
why.
at the end of the day, you might not.
I kind of see what Jez is saying there. I would like for, I don't know. I guess I do see what you mean about the presentation. I would like
No,
it
the
for it to be a
presentation was
more.
horrible.
I think a more mature presentation is what I
See,
would
but
like to
I
see.
You
don't-
see,
So
all right,
if
I'm
Phil
getting
Spencer had the
confused. Like,
microphone-
so
if Phil Spencer had the
we want
microphone,
we
goes,
like
"Guys,
we
this
want
is
a
how it is.
roadmap. We want this. We
How
want
about
that. We want this. We
I
don't
do
have enough
though.
events. We get information. Oh, we don't like how they told us, dude. I just
Because it's,
Dude,
it's a
No, look, there was some things.
So is it bad because of the information, or is it bad
No,
because
no,
you want?
it
I don't
wasn't. It
understand.
wasn't. No, kid, they spent.
Because you don't have to watch
Kid,
it,
kid, calm down. They spent like 8 minutes on Minecraft.
dude. Fuck Minecraft.
And, yo, it
That-
wasn't even the 14th update
Did
to
you
Minecraft.
see how
It was
long?
freaking animals.
Did you see how long that panda and cat
Yes.
shit was?
No, I didn't watch it. I was at work
Okay.
until like
Well,
5.
Smooth, you saved 2.5 hours of your life. We wasted.
No,
my
I
ass.
well, no,
it
I
wasn't
watched the good parts.
The
I
first
got
hour of
the.
the presentation was good.
It was
If they
good.
would have
Yeah.
popped out the very end where they announced the studios, I think people would be having a completely different conversation now. But they drug it on.
Yes.
It was just it
And
was a
they put
horrible
commercials
thing.
in there for Game Pass within the commercial.
Well, I don't
It
mind
was-
that. That's just marketing. Like that's literally what
I'm
everyone
telling
in the
you,
industry
everybody's
does.
allowed to
Everyone
market their
does
shit,
that.
but Xbox, dude. It had like anything. Yo, you know what's
The
crazy?
problem is
Anybody
that
could do
you
the
have an
same
event
exact
for
thing
it.
in the same exact method, and nobody would receive it poorly.
But
that's
nobody
like-
does it the same exact way, though. I mean,
No, but saying if they would, it
They
wouldn't
had
like
an
they gonna
event
get
that announced
anything for it.
Minecraft, pandas, and cats.
No,
Yeah,
and no one's debating that. That was horrible. And no one's debating that the show was poorly
You
paced.
know what else frustrates me? They have an event, and then they have the people come out for Sea of Thieves and State of Decay, and they go, "What are you doing?" He goes, "Well, I can't talk about that much right now."
So
What the
what?
fuck you
What?
doing
You
in
never
Mexico?
heard that comment before?
But why are you even having them even say anything if they have nothing to say?
Okay.
yeah, that was
Okay.
kind of funny. I'm
Oh,
not
Yeah.
gonna.
God.
Fucking stupid.
It was like we can't
I
talk
just
about
feel
this. And I was
like-
like, huh?
Oh,
I
I'm teasing something happened.
I
but we
do
can't talk
feel
about it
like
right now.
people hype this up to an E3 standard for some reason.
People did. and
You
then
know
they
what?
told
That I agree. I
I
agree
think
with
that's
that.
what you guys are mad
They
at.
That's
never
part of it.
came
That's
out. They
part of it.
never came out. Like, here's the thing. At the end of the day, regardless how you didn't like, I didn't like the presentation. I gave the shit a 6 out of 10. People going around giving the shit a 2 out of 10, that's ridiculous. But at the end of the day, regardless what the presentation was, regardless what they messed up on, they never came out openly say expect a new
expect they
game.
counted down the days with the
They-
news.
they-
Like,
So what? So they can't count down. Like this is
That is how
absurd.
marketing
do
is.
whatever
That's
they want.
literally how
But the
marketing
thing
is.
is
All
that
right.
they're teasing mediocre
Wait.
shit.
I'm
But-
going to
oh
tell you where
my
this happened.
God,
I'm going to tell you
Joe,
where
so-
this happened.
Oh
If they wouldn't have called it XO, I think people's expectations would
Exactly,
be lower.
Mark.
Yeah, a lot of
Yes.
these people that are fucking complaining and crying about this don't even know what the fuck an XO is. They didn't know what it was then, and they didn't know what it
You're
was
probably
now.
right. Some of the people on Twitter, you're probably right.
Bullshit. Like here's the thing. Anytime Microsoft does, or not fuck Microsoft, anytime Xbox does something, right, where they have an event or a show or something to promote, if they even attempt to make awareness of it, and let's say you don't like it, Jez, of how it turns out, you get mad that they made you aware of it. And I don't understand that. Oh, you shouldn't have a countdown if it's not going to be up to my lawfully expectations. If it's not that way, then they can't do this.
I'm sorry, I got to stand up for that. Like that's literally what their Twitter's there for.
Nintendo Direct. They just announce the news and move on. Like it's handled like that. It is not no news.
I just want everybody else to just announce the news and move on.
But Nintendo, they're always hyping people up for their directs.
And they deliver on this news right after each other. Like there doesn't have to be 2.5 hours.
This year, Nintendo was slipping a little bit though.
Well, they were marketing.
They were slipping for other reasons. They're other complete different reasons.
Yeah,
I never even heard the friggin' shit with their Smash Brothers. Every single I can't believe how much they talked about it. That's the only game I never saw somebody Microsoft does it. Take one game and talk about it all year. That's Nintendo good.
I ain't gonna lie. I mean, Smash got my interest.
Oh, I can't wait. Yeah, Smash is gonna be cool.
Maybe I'll pick up that.
Regardless how you feel about this game, ain't nobody trying to defend this shit.
I'm not saying the news was bad. I'm just saying.
What was ethically wrong with X018?
Should be doing.
What is wrong? What was wrong?
There was nothing ethically wrong with X018. There was something wrong with how they presented it, though. But there was nothing ethically wrong with it. And why are we saying what's ethically wrong with the gaming event?
Because I'm sick and tired of where you have to already tell somebody, oh, you're not defending this. There's nothing to defend. Nothing was done wrong. It was just like, you don't like it, you don't like it. It's why is it got to be?
At the end of the day, Ken, I think we can admit that they need to improve a little bit on how they present these shows.
Fuck that shit. No, I'm sick of this. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. It's the same complaints all the time. It's like everything's a problem. Everything is like, it's to the point. Everything's under a microscope. They can't talk a certain way. They can't talk about certain things. It's like everybody has rules onto how they can announce games. How can they put together events? If anybody else does an event, whether it be better or worse, and they're not put up to the same standards of what has to be done.
Sony sat everybody on a couch. They sat on a couch and talked about the games. I
ain't hear a complaint out of you.
It wasn't.
Yeah, okay. You have.
I did not complain about it because the thing is they're talking about games.
You know what happened when? Listen. You know what happened when Xbox set you on the couch? Ooh, people complained about it for months.
Well, they sat on the couch in front of a bunch of controllers and told us how.
But now you gotta alter it. Okay, Xbox sits in front of a couch to talk about games. They get blasted.
Let me answer this question. I'll answer this question.
They're at the end of the generation, you know.
Wait. I got one. I got an equalizer. Right?
An equalizer.
So, make pretend, right? That X018 was played out exactly how they did it. Except with these two additions. They show some Gears 5 gameplay and some Halo Infinite.
Yep.
What do you think about X018 now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're talking.
It's a whole different show, right?
They show 2 trailers.
And you know what I'm upset.
It's a whole different show. They just show James coming.
You know what the biggest frustration I have with the XO is they didn't show Ashton. I know exactly why they didn't show Ashton.
Why?
Because they want to go on this. What they want to do is they want to appear that, because clearly I've been told the game's done. It's been done. But I guarantee you what's going on right now is what they want to do is, because if they announce it they've already announced 16 Game Pass games. Yep. It's not going to really be huge if they announce another one, but if they wait next month and now Ashton's on Game Pass right now, like that, I do feel like Ashton was put to the game for the Video Game Awards for marketing purposes, which I get that. I get that, they got to market their game, but I'm like, man. That was your platform that you gave that up on.
You got exclusive game to show it. I don't understand it. I thought they should show more crap.
The crazy thing is in audit because people keep saying I knew this me with the finish with your freaking overboxing under goddamn. Like here's the thing. Oh my God. I am not defending the show. I never said the show was great. I never said the show was bad, awesome, great, nothing. All I ever said about X018, I felt good about the information that came out of it. I was happy for Crackdown. If you guys watch What to Expect from X018, my video I did on October 5th, you'll see I went for like 7 for 9 on all the stuff What to Expect. The only thing I got wrong was the Gears 5, obviously, and I thought they were going to like tease like their new streaming console or some shit like that, right?
I got one.
That's it.
So the thing is, I'm like, what is there for me to be mad about? If like I don't understand what I'm supposed to be at because they got a bunch of goofy ass people working for the Inside Xbox. Like,
just get rid of Inside Xbox. God, just get rid of it. It's a mess every freaking episode they have.
I don't know.
It's a mess because you guys waste your time and you sit there and watch it, expecting it to be a mess, knowing it's going to be a mess, and you still sit down and watch the shit.
Wow. No, we stopped live streaming it because it was such a mess. They just did it this year because it was X018. We thought it was going to be bigger than a traditional.
I want to see Halo Infinite, man, and I want to see Gears. That's what I want to see.
There's 126 people in here watching this. Why don't you just let them decide on what they think? This is an Xbox podcast. They let them give their number from 1 to 10 what they thought it was. Because obviously, we have a different opinion.
127 Weapon Wheel followers. It's all about to say 0 out of 10.
Yeah, okay? This is not an Xbox.
The fact of the matter is,
Xbox audience.
I don't think it was the best show ever. I think it could have been better. But I think there were some highlight things shown there. I appreciated seeing Crackdown. The Obsidian purchase was cool. I didn't. Was it In Exile? In Exile, I didn't expect that because I didn't really understand who that studio was. But
that and people aren't really like understanding like. Microsoft is putting themselves in a situation. Microsoft is putting themselves. Microsoft is putting themselves.
I give it a 5.
I gave it a 6. Microsoft is putting themselves in a situation.
Spam that bot. Who is the bot? Spam.
Oh my god!
Spam it.
You know what though? Come E3 that they dropped the Gears 5 trailer
and you know what's funny?
Halo Infinite. You're gonna see people are gonna be. It's gonna be the complete opposite reaction of what happened at XO.
You know what's funny?
They had an amazing E3 this year to me.
I think the biggest thing that's hurting them right now is the fact that this time last year, if XO would have showed up and they would have announced those two companies being bought, I don't think we would be here in the same situation. What's going on right now is it's a mystery. They own all these companies, and we don't know what any of them are working on. Like this is the first time in years.
They will at least tease one of the studios.
This is the first time in years that we literally.
It's simple, man. They're gonna prime this heading into next generation. That's what they're doing. They're stacking the deck for next gen.
What it is?
He said next year we might get a Hellblade. Like not Hellblade.
What it is they want to hit you at the same time. Like
shout out to the Ravenflow.
Yeah,
they don't want you to be talking about Ninja Theory shit now. They want you to be talking about Ninja Theory and the next Xbox at the same time.
He said, Matt Booty said that it's going to come out sooner than later. One of their
games is coming out sooner. I think the people who's ready to probably is going to drop the game the soonest is Ninja Theory and Obsidian, because Obsidian was already working on something.
Yeah, I think that they should have at least did one more thing after Matt Booty left and just showed like a logo or something, just to show like what the other studio could be working on as we go into
dude, here's the thing. I do have a problem with. All right, let me just give my thoughts on X018. Right, my thoughts on X018 as far as just information wise. This is where I'm judging the thing. I'm not judging it off the show. If I'm judging this on, hey, did you like Inside Xbox? No, the Inside Xbox is not the show for me. I don't care to watch it. Only reason why I wanted X018 because then there was an event, and I know we were going to get breaking news. Now, you guys may not have saw it as breaking news because some of us had inside information, and some of you, the other stuff
I knew a good amount of the
provided,
being announced.
you didn't, you probably didn't care for. So the thing is, to me, it was more of a confirmation test, and I'm like, okay, cool, I'm happy, cool. Like, you know what I mean? But the show, if you tell me the show was whack, okay, cool, the show was whack, I get it, but I feel like what people are doing, they're dismissing. They're hiding all the information that was given in the show as like garbage because they don't like the show.
That's not, if you listen to my thing, so if you listen to what I said, I just said that the news. I have no problem with news. I thought the news was great. I just think they're doing themselves a disjustice.
The presentation is a problem.
Yes, by packaging that news in that presentation, I think they're doing themselves a disjustice of trying to get people excited about the Xbox brand because they have good news in there. It's just they're being very kind of real kind of I think immature in how they're delivering it. Like they should just sit there and be a mature thing. Like just with, and perfect example is that $400 Xbox One X. They package it as a Black Friday crazy Eddie, but think about if Phil Spencer had the mic and was like, the most powerful console that we sold last year is coming now at a low price at $399. You can play these games in 4K, and and we're doing a big price drop. I think that will have more impact than Crazy Larry going everything for $100.
150% agree.
And I completely agree with you on that. I really like, I can't stand the cringe moments that they do with Major Nelson. But at the end of the day, like I can't stand half these commercials that these insurance companies and shit be doing. The reason they do that is because it's catchy, and we're not the only hardcore ain't the only people watching Microsoft right now.
Yeah, I know.
They do that dumb shit because of them.
It's just you got good news, man. Like
it might seem real, like cringe worthy to us, but I'm sure a lot of people are like, "Yo, that's funny." Like
I'm gonna. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
It's just like at the end of the day, like regardless of what kid says, kid's kind of tripping when you don't think there's anything wrong with the presentation.
Crazy kid.
Yeah, but I just feel like if they get that presentation right, like their inside Xboxes would be fine.
And you want to know what? I'm going to tell you a perfect example is the best thing of that whole thing was the Matt Booty at the end when he kind of talked about the studios, but he talked about we're going to make games for Xbox and games for Game Pass, and he said exclusive games for Xbox and Game Pass, and I'm like that the way he came out and the interview that they had with him at the end, I'm like that is what I'm talking about. Like it was no crazy people screaming over him that you couldn't hear. It was a mature delivery and addressing the people.
Can you believe?
I think it was a lot better. I thought he was the first time they ever said we're making games exclusively for Xbox and for Game Pass. Like he said it. But Phil Spencer's like, he's
I feel like that's something that shouldn't have to be said though. Like,
but we haven't heard it in a long time.
But why would you need reassurance that they're making Xbox and
talking about other platforms? That's the thing, and it's nice to have that booty.
But when have they ever done that? When have they ever put something on another platform?
They don't. What do you mean? That's all they do. That's all Phil talks about.
But no, he talks about putting it on Windows. Like he talks about a Windows.
He talks about mobile and all that other stuff.
Wait, who talks about putting it on Windows?
Phil Spencer. Like,
did you hear his last interview?
That's what I'm talking about.
His last interview, he didn't just talk about Windows. He said all platforms.
He said all platforms.
And what was it regarding? That was
his games.
Mobile
games
being
available. Because they talk about mobile. He said all platforms. I mean, that he was specific saying all platforms. Now, can we
wasn't very specific because all platforms isn't usually all platforms.
Can we take, what I'm saying is, can we take that and say it's coming to PS4 or Switch? No, but my whole thing is like they're word savvy at this generation. This is 4K, but this isn't. Like if you cut the cheese, like nothing is really doing what they say they're doing. It's just all marketing. So at the end of the day,
I like Matt Booty's interview at the end. I thought that was really good.
At the end of the day, I think it's probably the easiest way is if you give this show 3 pros and 3 cons, I think it's a little bit easier to stomach it that way because then you can say these are 3 things they did great and these are 3 things I think they did bad. We may not agree on them, but at least we may be able to see everybody may be able to see somebody's aspect of what they think. The 3 things they did good or 3 things they did bad. Because I think there were great moments, but there were a lot of low moments. But if I give
there was a lot more low moments than great moments.
Right. But what I'm saying is that I guarantee you can pick 3 things you can say this was done well.
Like I feel like if they would have put the Forza towards about an hour in, about 45 minutes to an hour. It was a good inside Xbox. It was well paced. That you got all the information you needed. That went from show to show, but then they started getting cringy as fuck.
Yeah, around Minecraft.
Minecraft. That's when shit went downhill. Was Minecraft.
They spent too long talking about
that. I feel like as long as they they fix that pacing, and at the end of the day, us as the hardcore might see that as bad pacing. But they still have to appeal to another audience. There was a lot of people watching that, and it's at the end of the day, Minecraft is a huge platform.
They could have talked about the 4K update. I know they delayed it to next year, but that would have been something for X owners to get excited about the 4K update that got delayed. I thought to have a release date for it because it was supposed to come out this year. the 4K update for Minecraft, and it got pushed to, I think, early next year.
I don't think XO needs to go. I think it needs to be
No, XO's
restructured.
fine. It's inside Xbox.
No, inside Xbox doesn't need to go either. It needs to be restructured. It needs to be straight to the point, because it's just, I feel like it is doing them more damage than it's hurting them.
Yes.
But
agree.
I don't think it's something crazy though. Like, people be acting like these are straight up trash. Like, let's be real here. Nintendo Directs aren't too much better. Like,
no, they're not. They're not. Nintendo Directs are way worse, in my opinion.
Yeah, what they do? They now they're way better at pacing on Nintendo. But
Look,
when you
bro.
announce nothing, it's still nothing.
Look, let me make this clear. You'll never catch me watching a Nintendo Direct. The end.
I've watched a couple. I can't say.
Nah, dude. I watched that Switch reveal. That shit was terrible.
Oh my god.
That's the last Nintendo show I ever watched, and I'll never watch another one. They can keep all that
in the bushes.
in the bushes, bro.
Oh my god. When he started,
I wonder if they're gonna keep that $3.99 price point for the X Permanent.
No, is it only the one day, or is it for the week? Is it for the holiday?
for that weekend.
Oh, hold up. Tiger King says you don't like the live show format for Inside Xbox. I don't look. I wish they would pre-record it, but I don't think they're doing that. I think that they want it being live because they want interaction with the community. They like putting the Twitter
tweets,
hashtags and shit at the bottom. They like doing all that. So if they do that, they need to restructure it so we're not sitting there for 2 hours. Like, if you look at my reactions for it, like, I was literally during the Minecraft shit, I was like, dude, they literally, because they said studio acquisitions. We had an idea who one of them was. We didn't. They said 2. We didn't know what the second one was. So we're sitting there like, they're making me watch this nonsense just to hear what the second one is.
Yeah. No, they're making the Xbox.
EXO wasn't a bad conference for the people who don't know what's going on. For people who just tuned in because they heard about Minecraft, or people like my cousin Sage that like Thieves, that like State of Decay. I'm sure they thought the shit was awesome because the content applied to them.
Bro, they didn't show me no Gears, bro. I watched that shit to see Gears. I ain't seen no Gears, bro.
Yeah, I could have told you, Gears wasn't going to be there. But
Rod Ferguson, they had said Rod Ferguson was going to be there.
Yeah, he said he was opening the show, but he's there for the tournament instead. That's what he was there for.
Oh my god, bro!
I just can't believe that Joseph Staten went down there. Who was doing remember the hype on Twitter with him talking about how he hurt himself fighting Terry Crews or something like that, and then he went down there to show a trailer that was only a minute and a half that basically could have showed.
Mel and Matt, I don't think technically it was a conference, but I'm calling that a conference. It looked exactly how they would set a conference up.
And like that, the crowd.
That was a conference.
That wasn't a conference. Don't hype
that was a conference with an inside
That was
Xbox
not a
jacket
conference,
on.
dude. That's not a conference. It's an
That
inside
was a
Xbox.
conference.
It was not a conference.
That was a conference.
It was not a
tell
conference,
you.
bro.
That was a
Amazing crowd
conference
was
with
lit,
an
boy.
inside Xbox.
Oh my god, that crowd was rehearsed to the T.
I don't know, man. I don't know if it was or it wasn't. It's hard for me to say.
Like when Phil Spencer was in the crowd, the guy was
saying that they're getting the inside Xbox people to. Not the inside Xbox, the FanFest people to openly, cheer on something. No, I've been to a few FanFests. Have I not, kid?
Yeah, you have.
Yeah, they do not in any way, shape, or form encourage you.
Yeah, but that FanFest wasn't. Yeah, but you see the video of when they were doing the Phil Spencer interview. The guy was there telling everybody to raise their hands.
That's what they do, though. If you look at any kind of thing like that, they try to hype the crowd because they're trying to get that interaction from someone.
Well, they know that that's going to be the background for the show, so they want them to get hyped up.
They do that literally on anything. There's actually some events that are controlled events that they will tell them to stop.
But you gotta admit, though, Addict, when you're watching that stuff, they were cheering for things before they were being announced. Like you couldn't hear what the people were saying.
There's a delay. There's a delay for us and them.
Yeah, but also to be fair, Mexico is they are huge with the Xbox. Because a lot of stuff is manufactured there.
Well,
you turn Xbox over, a lot of that stuff is manufactured there, so they're huge.
You got to look.
They don't have a lot of events there.
You got to look at from the standpoint of these people in FanFest. That's the people that was in the middle. Was the FanFest people? They're being treated like royalty. I guarantee you. Every FanFest I've been to, they feed you. They're low key bribing you. But they got you hyped. They got you hyped in this circle. It happens. People will change. I guarantee you, 60% of those people didn't give two shits about Sea of Thieves. but they're in this hype mode because they're Xbox fans. See Thieves pops up, so they start chanting.
Hey, you've been crafting the chat. That one poor kid that got the Xbox with no cords.
That was kind of suspect. That was
the party. You got the party. No
He got an X, a white X.
Yeah, like I've never seen, but the
You know
thing
what
is,
happened,
everybody knows when you send your Xbox back, you send a console, not all the damn cords.
You know what? I know what you're talking about.
Oh, you know what you're talking about too.
Oh my god!
Oh, you must have gone through the red ring. You must have gone through the red ring.
Oh my god!
But what I think's gonna happen is, we're gonna start seeing, like, that's one of the biggest things. I think that's going to be a problem for a while. Is the unknown. I mean, they just announced 7 studios. We don't even know what the majority of these studios are making. We only know rumors. The only one that we pretty much know for a fact what's making is Undead. That's all.
No,
Yes, that's the one that was.
And the whole Fable Playground getting made by
I've been
I
told
still
that might not be it. Like, I've been
still don't
told
think it's Playground.
that's the only game that we know, and that's what's frustrating fans. We know that you got studios. What are these studios making? But at the end of the day,
Yeah, they only bought them like 4 months ago.
look, they're on that
They're
downward
working on things, right?
slope right now. There's no point in announcing stuff right now. It will make us happy.
They're rebuilding right now.
It will make
And that's
us
what they're
happy
doing.
if they announce it. But strategically, what's the point in announcing something like we'll say Playground's next game at an XO when people are already tarnishing the name? They don't give a fuck about the name.
That's for E3. I think
What they want is they want to announce the next Xbox before E3 next year, and then E3 is dedicated. They want the next Xbox in these games connected to each other in the media.
Yeah.
They don't want the Xbox One in these new games connected.
Yeah, and that's why I thought that it would have been a great place to really highlight Crackdown and go into the multiplayer modes, go into some single player.
I think we're going to see another Inside Xbox.
You know, the one thing that gets me is that they have this opportunity to actually have somebody to play the game. Like, it would be nice if somebody has a controller on Inside Xbox and actually plays the game.
I hate when they do that shit. I'm not gonna lie. I hate when they have someone playing the game on a fucking stage. Like, that shit annoys me. It's like,
while they're playing it, like,
I'm not watching this shit. I'm not watching this shit. First off, most of this shit, even if they have someone playing on stage, some people are really good at acting. They don't even need to be playing that shit. You'll think they're playing. Remember the Division?
I don't care if they're really playing a fake playing, but at least like they're playing.
What's the point then? Are you gonna have someone go up there for a controller that's not on? Like,
how much Crackdown did you see at the Inside Xbox? It wasn't a 1.5-minute video clip of
120 people watching. Need 120 likes or dislikes.
Like,
Yeah, hit the like button, man.
They showed a Terry Crews commercial, and they showed a 1.5-minute multiplayer thing with destruction.
Regardless what you like, they still have a platform called Inside Xbox that I guarantee you, the month before this comes out, they're going to use that platform to try to hype up the game by showing the story.
Yeah.
Question for you, Addict.
Okay, go ahead. I got something.
No, go ahead.
I got a heated. No, I say kind of heated. It's kind of a heated statement, so it's gonna bring some heat. So I'll go ahead. You go ahead.
Addict, if I heard you correctly, you're telling me that Xbox is going to drop a new console next year with these games?
I think they are.
Oh wow!
No, I don't think
that'll go well. I don't think that'll go well.
I don't think
2019 is going to be pretty anemic.
I think
with the highlights being Gears of War and Crackdown and Ori. So I mean,
Ori's fire.
I don't think that they're going to.
Their E3 is going to be lit.
I don't think it might not drop next year, but it's getting announced next year.
Their E3 is going to be lit. Their E3 is going to be. Actual year itself is probably going to be surprising.
I'll tell you what. They'll announce a new console if Sony confirms that they're dropping the PS5 in 2019.
Yep. Yes,
but
that's the only way that they'll
learn that in February, right?
Microsoft knows both of them know exactly what the other one's doing.
Yeah, of course.
Especially where they both do AMD. You don't think that they have their insiders in AMD like, yo, what's PlayStation dropping they shit? I don't know, man. This is the form we doing right now.
They can tell by the roadmap by the roadmap of APUs being released by AMD. They both know when each other's dropping.
They know
for sure.
But I'm telling you,
they don't even got to call nobody. They know exactly when everybody's dropping.
By announcing the Scorpio before the Pro even got confirmed.
Yeah.
So when E3 is going to be them talking about next gen consoles. It's whether Sony does an early event in the spring of next year to announce the 5.
It sucks that we don't hear anything about these studios. Business wise, that's what makes sense. They want to drop like 2 or 3 games at E3.
Well, But you want to know what? I do think that the mystery behind what they're going to do to studios does have people interested in what their potential could be. And I think the more they keep that quiet until they confirm what the games are, they are going to have this potential with all these studios. My thing is that I knew that they weren't going to. I thought that was going to be a reach if they announced a new game from one of the studios. It would have been a great bonus. It would have been cool. But I thought that it should have at least showed gameplay and really embraced the games that are coming out soon to get people excited about what's coming out.
It's like I said, like
Crackdown,
the only way that would
Ashen,
make sense.
They're in a hard position to do that.
Ori, like Ashen,
The only
Crackdown,
way that
Below,
would make
Ori,
sense.
all those games they could have shown, and they just kind of just.
Yeah, and I completely agree with you. They
You
moved
know?
it to the Video Game Awards because they want to have a presence there.
Yeah.
That's bullshit.
Well, I
They
think that's what
should
Ashen's
have
going,
done their own platform. But at the end of the day, what's better?
Who's
Announcing
watching more?
everything at XO or having yourself in the news that you announced something at the Video Game Awards too.
There's more viewers of the Video Game Awards and more people watching.
Like
that, yeah.
I personally think Ashen should have came out this month. I was told
I thought it
was
was.
coming out this month.
Yeah, I thought it was coming.
But-
yeah.
Maybe we'll get a surprise.
Yeah.
It does make more sense to drop something at the Video Game Awards, which it's only really 2 to 3 things. I think Below might be there, but you can ask Kid. We played Below at PAX this year, and it was looking kind of suspect if that game was coming out this year or not. Like he didn't seem like he was confident. Like we asked, he's like, "Well, we were aiming for the
Ashen
holiday."
seems confident. That dev seems confident it's coming out this year.
No. Ashton seems confident.
They're
I
confident.
actually, I don't know if you guys noticed it, but
Yeah, Ashen. Ashen be the type you ask them on December 31st if it's still coming out this year. They tell you, yeah.
no, it's funny. I don't know if
They
you
wait
guys
till
saw it.
midnight.
I don't know if you guys saw it, but a couple nights ago, at like 2 a.m, they announced a bunch of shit, and I commented, and I was like, "Man, I'm starting to feel real suspect at this if this game's coming out this year." He said, "We guarantee you it's coming out this year." And what's funny, it got like 150 likes, a bunch of retweets, like that. Like I literally, because everyone was retweeting that tweet. I was like, man, what's funny is there's been a couple of times a response that I asked ended up having someone respond to me. Like I think once it happened with Phil Spencer, and he responded to me after a bunch of people was hitting him, and he answered the question when I asked him, because I guess he got tired of people asking him. And you have these people on IGN showing that tweet, and I'm like, yeah, they're not going to show who the fuck he's responding to. It's bullshit.
Well, I got something for Xbox Inside, or the X018, and then something that's not. It's Xbox related, but so Hellblade. Phil Spencer announced that Hellblade was getting a physical edition in December, and it's coming out December 4th. He mentioned PlayStation also. He did mention PlayStation because he's obligated to say, "Hey, we're just coming," which that's why he said PlayStation. But Microsoft is not the ones publishing it. It's going to be 505 Games and Ninja Theory to do the physical copy, because even though they own that whole thing,
they still have obligations to make.
So that's why he mentioned PlayStation, because at first I was like, wait, this is weird. So I went back and I said, and then come to find out he was like, yeah, he had to say PlayStation because it's coming physically to PlayStation, no matter if they own.
I thought he was saying all platforms. I thought that this.
He did say, well, he said all platforms.
He said all platforms, PlayStation.
He said PlayStation, Xbox, and people were like, wait, he mentioned PlayStation at Xbox conference. They're like, what the hell?
People are cheering too.
So the reason he did that is because it's not Microsoft publishing it; it's 505 Games.
Yeah,
So
it's like the We Happy Few. Like you have.
Yeah, it's only $29.99, and apparently it has like a whole bunch of stuff included.
Especially when there's another publisher involved, like they have to legally, they have to state it.
So my other comment, it goes to fanboys, especially just fanboys in particular, but this one is the Xbox fanboys. Red Dead came out. And it looks phenomenal. It plays native 4K. It runs really great on the X. And there are a lot of fanboys, not just the regular Xbox guys. These guys who die hard, suck Phil Spencer's Johnson fanboys, right? And going forward, they were asked if these games come to Xbox, are we going to see this trend where games are running in 4K native on the Xbox? Yes. Oh, this is going to be the future. Everything going forward is going to run better on the X. No, that's not what it's doing. I think that people looked at Rockstar and they thought that you have your EAs and your Activisions on the same level. Rockstar is a different kind of caliber studio that they really, when they sit their minds to something, they're like, this is going to run like this, and we got it. We locked it. Not every studio is going to be able to do what Rockstar can do. And I think that people, no matter where you play, you should temper your expectations to say, Rockstar did this game native 4K 30 doesn't mean that the next big open world game that comes out made by whoever is going to be able to do the same thing. You know,
Well,
and I think people
think-
should temper their expectations.
I don't
There's a
necessarily
lot
think
of
that.
fanboys running around. Oh, this is every game now. When you compare it to their competitors, is going to run native 4K now because they did it on one game. That's this unrealistic way of thinking.
I don't think necessarily that. At the end of the day, it just becomes on how much time they're putting into it. Rockstar can take as much time as they want. Literally, GTA 5 funded Red Dead 2. It's like
Yeah, of
they
course,
were
yeah,
making
for
more
sure.
money off GTA 5 monthly than most games make every launch. So like they could take their time. Every game, well, no, not every game, but the majority of these games can be at a great performance on the X. But the problem is it worth the actual output that they put? They might not come out openly and say it, but I guarantee you Microsoft had a little bit to do in that. They're like, yo, we write you this check. We'll send a little bit of people over there. Just let them in the back door. No
I
one
don't
has
even
to
think it was
see
that.
them.
I think Rockstar is just they're competent developers, and I think that seriously, I think
I'm willing to
Rockstar-
bet you that
they're
someone
competent
from
developers.
Microsoft was helping them work around their dev kit.
I don't think so.
Nah, I just think that
I think
they
they're
validate
competent
their game. They
developers.
use the
But
best.
they're
I
talented
don't
developers.
give you-
They're talented.
my-
I think they paid for it.
They're
I think
Here's
that's
my
what they
thing.
did.
I give credit to the developers, not the damn platform. And people are giving the credit to the Xbox
Yeah,
One
'cause-
X. It's not the Xbox One X. It's the developers
developer.
taking it and use it because
Yeah.
if that's the case, then everything would run superior in every way on the X, and it doesn't. So
And
a lot
Phil
of
said,
things,
like,
a lot of
it's
things
up to
run
the
in parity.
developers to use
There's
it.
very-
He's not influencing them to use the thing.
There's very few developers that can do what they do.
And that's why I say,
yeah.
I
The
credit the
reason that it's like that is because of the amount of time. Most companies don't get 7 years to make a game.
I agree. I
And-
totally agree.
Yeah, and it's like-
good thing
like, 'cause
2K
they-
Publishing did that too. Rush them.
They were really pushing it.
Mhm.
They were
Yeah.
really pushing it. I
I
don't.
think
Rockstar got.
I think
Do
they're
you think
talented.
Rockstar delayed Red Dead Redemption 2 because of the X?
No, I doubt that.
No.
Nah, I doubt it.
Because remember, it was supposed to come out what, spring?
And
I mean,
Rockstar is a
back in, like,
mega
March or
studio with
April,
hundreds of
something.
employees,
Typically,
man.
they'll
They
It
don't
doesn't
get
their
matter how
games
many
in the
employees
fall,
you
right?
have.
They
Though.
typically say
You
games in the
need more
spring.
time. You need more time.
Shout
Well,
out Tiger King. Yeah, I understand they have better hardware, but what I'm saying is, I don't look and say, well, because of the X, this game was possible. No, that's not that's not really it. Like you got the Tim Dogs that are running around, and I'm just gonna throw names out there. You got a lot of guys like Tim Dog running around. They're saying asinine stuff. Like it's not the X. It's you got to look at the developer. You got to look at the studio.
Yeah, I see a comment in the chat that I've heard other people say this, but I'm not sure this is true. That Microsoft sent engineers to Rockstar.
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
Is that true? I've
I
heard
don't
several
know.
people say that. I just don't know if it's true or not.
But at the end of the day, I'm not saying that it
I don't
happened. But I'm saying I wouldn't put it past them to be like, look, we'll send you some people to help you with our
They
version.
also sent the
Because
Gears of
this
War
has
guys
happened
to
on multiple
PUBG,
occasions
right?
with multiple games. Rockstar has a phenomenal talent. They do.
Yeah.
But it doesn't
Yeah.
matter how much talent you have when you're on a time crunch and you got 3 months to finish a game.
Yeah.
I do recall that PUBG had the Gears of War guys, and also they used the water from Sea of Thieves.
Like, I'm willing to bet you.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
willing to
thinking they may have some of their talent
These
over there.
I'm
stories are
willing to
wonderful.
bet you that these Japanese games that are being ported over finally, that's around what probably happened.
I'm sure
Look, man,
Microsoft had people go.
I get that, I get that the game doesn't sell well over here. How about we will help you with the porting, and you could take more of the royalties that you normally would.
I could probably see something like that, possibly, maybe. Yeah, I could see that.
Because
It's
ain't nobody, regardless how talented
Oh, you cut out.
dev
cut
kit,
out.
more than the fucking company who made it.
Other Zinc is right here. He says the credit goes to Microsoft engineering that gave the developers a 4K console. You're right, because they removed that ES RAM. They've made that system easier to develop for and not dealing with that RAM buffer.
What's
that they
crazy is
had.
I met the dude who made that process. What was that process called?
The Hovis method.
ES RAM.
The Hovis method.
Yeah, they
method was the-
named it after him. He
That's
was
him,
actually
yeah.
doing it on the side for a completely unrelated thing.
It ultimately is up to devs to use the power of the
At
box.
the end of the day, there's very few companies that can out software Microsoft. Very few companies. And they do what they do. They do
They
it really
make good
well.
hardware.
That's
Like that was good hardware. The X, like it
No,
was
it
X
good
is,
is
it
hardware.
is.
great hardware.
But I
It's
don't.
great
But I don't think Microsoft. You think they went over to Rockstar and said paid for them to make it 4K? I don't. They did not do that.
no,
No,
I don't think.
that
I don't think.
happened.
I don't
No,
think that.
they're saying that they helped them like
I don't.
get the game to run
Probably.
best.
And I'm sure
Like to run well on the X. I've
I'm
heard
sure
several people
PlayStation
say
sends
that.
I wouldn't
people
put
over
it
there
past
too.
them.
I'm sure both the
Well, it's like I
manufacturers
said.
do
At
it.
the end of the day, Rockstar really has nothing to gain by making.
And Nintendo shows up and they
by
do that.
they have nothing. They have nothing to gain by optimizing that game more. It would have ran just fine with the pro settings.
Yeah.
But Microsoft has something to gain that they help with it. I'm sure when Rockstar was like, "Look, I'm sure you're busy. We'll send a team of our guys to help you. We'll get this." I'm like, I'm sure Rockstar was like, "Yo, you can go do whatever the fuck you want. You say you're gonna make your port pretty much? Yeah, there you go. There you go. Go send all those people over
Yeah,
there.
and I'm
Yeah.
sure
We got
both,
way
I'm
too
sure
much shit
both
going on to
platform
worry about
holders
that shit."
send people over to help, like to assist with the game. I don't know if they will send them over and said, "You make it 4K when we leave. Like we walk out, it's 4K." Like, I'm sure they both send people over. I'm just like, I don't know.
massive-
if
it's a
Microsoft's
massive
been known
time
to
It'll be a
send
team effort.
developers
It'll be
over
a
to
team
certain
effort.
But, you know,
to
It
third
would be
parties.
both teams that If
Bill says it's up to devs to use the power. He's not going to tell them you have to make this
No-
game 4K. He
No,
said
no,
that.
but no. Microsoft has been known in the past when, especially when the X was
send
coming
the
out, to
ninjas
send
over, yeah.
assistance with people like working on X enhancements. So this
Right,
wasn't the
right,
first time I've heard that.
Okay, so maybe they did. And I'm sure like they
because
both.
at the end of the day, it's like I said, a studio can be as talented as they want. They cannot. They don't know their way around that hardware like the people who made it.
Oh,
Yeah,
I agree.
and
I
I'm
agree.
sure they have people.
At the end of the day, like when they come up to their and I'm sure it wasn't a lot of people. They probably sent 3 or 4 people. It'd be surprised with 3 or 4 people that know their way
The
around
question
that.
is, do you think Nintendo sent third ports to have their ninjas work on the?
Dude, Nintendo don't know what the
Shit.
fuck they're doing. Okay, like Nintendo, they'll send people over there to help them. Be like, look, man, I would just sit here to look. I would sit here to look
Hey,
out
just,
the
hey, just
window.
make games for us, please.
I would sit here to look out the window, give you food, and tell you what time it is. I wouldn't sit here to help you.
They come over with the Joy-Cons and they shake them outside the window.
Yeah.
It's like, help us port this game over. No, I'm sure they both do, but yeah, I think it is a testament to the devs because we see how certain devs that depends on their engine. Like some use the dynamic 4K, some do the native, some just do like checkerboard and all that other stuff. And it really is up to the dev and their engine and what the time they want to invest in it. Because like Big Frog said, like it is time. Time is money. So if they're gonna say, hey, we can make this, we can push this thing to the limits, but it might cost us more dev time. Do you want to do it? Do we have it in the budget? Do you want to put, and it's prioritizations like with everything. So I just think it's amazing that they took this world and made it 4K native, and just locked it and didn't mess around with any dynamics and stuff, and just made it clean. I think it's amazing that
it looks really good on the X, man. It looks really good on the X. That is the game, like I said, that there is the biggest difference between the X and the Pro that I've seen with my eyes is that game for sure.
At the end of the day, that was even if they had to pay them, which I don't think it went that far, but I wouldn't put it past Microsoft to send them a check to why don't you spend a little bit more time on this? I'm not saying they did it. I'm not saying they did. But at the end of the day, even if they had to pay what it would have been for a marketing for a game, like what they would pay for a market, let's say that they spent that much money to make sure to give them enough incentive to make sure this runs good on the X, it benefited them. Like I saw people in IGN say that they started back over on the Xbox because it was a difference. Like it benefited them. There's no way around that.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna say something that maybe the devs feel so bad on how the game runs on the S that they feel like they should make it up on the X.
But guys,
I saw the game running on the S though. I'm gonna be honest with you. It doesn't look bad and it runs okay, man. To be honest,
I'm sure
I've seen it running on the S.
Like that's what kills me, man. People be acting like I'm over here playing on the S on a PowerPoint. Like I'm like, dude, like it runs fine. Like calm yourself. Got so many people that have to fucking.
I mean, look.
People are confused. I'm sorry. I just think people are confused. They think that like every game, versus it's like, okay, well, we got 6 T flaps and we got 4 point to. And the problem is, like, if it's a good game, it's a good game. But there's a lot of parity in a lot of games. A lot of games run very similar on both consoles. Like, it's not like a drastic difference.
It's your just to run that shit through computers.
It's very far and few between. So, like, when I hear people say there's no parity, it's so far superior. No, it's not. It's not such a massive difference with the library of games that they have that you're really gonna notice it. Because when you play it on the X, where you play it on the Pro, you're gonna be like, these games look good across the board. Very rarely are you gonna say this game stands out so much far above. I think Red Dead and maybe Far Cry 5 and Wolfenstein.
Far Cry 5, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, when I'm saying there's noticeable differences, like, there's not that many games. You know, it's not like night and day. It's not like you're looking at it's not like you're looking at a PlayStation base model versus the S base model. That's a big difference.
Look at me, man. I went from playing it on the X to, since I got it for free on the Pro, I ended up playing the game on the Pro. And the game does look better on the X, but that goes to show you how much I care about that. Because I ended up having less than 2 hours on it when I first started it on the X, or refunded it on Xbox, and then I got it for free on the Pro. So I ended up starting the game over on the Pro. I just beat it last night. I finished it.
New York Giants, man. I didn't say that the X wasn't on paper. We know the X is a more powerful console. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, like, when you're talking about a game, and it's a game is a game is a game. It's on both consoles, like. You know, if one running 1800p or one's running checkerboard 4K and one's running native 4K, are you really going to be able to tell the difference? No, not your multiplayer. You're not going to be telling the difference. You're really not.
It depends on the anti-aliasing.
Right, but what I'm saying is not necessarily. You know why everybody knows it? Because Digital Foundry does these videos. Digital Foundry
started it with the X. They started it with the original.
Nobody be talking about this. Like, you know, if it's a good game.
900p and 1080p. And they made this technical analysis on these stupid things, and it started this, and it turned, and that's their MO. That's what they do.
Yeah, I mean,
they started this shit.
Guys,
I don't get it.
We gotta get ready to wrap it up. It's 11 o'clock. Well, it's actually past 11.
What did you guys think of the second studio that they announced, though, before we wrap it up?
An Exile.
I have no comments because I don't really know any games other than Wasteland, and I guess I don't know.
I'm trying to see if I played any other games.
Wasteland's a good game.
I was like, who? Yeah, it's a good game, but I was like, who's
both,
that?
You know, it's interesting is that they're RPG developers, which is great because they.
It feels like Microsoft has got to the point where they're like, okay, we can't compete in that open story cinematic shit. We're just going to buy some of the best talent when it comes to RPGs and see what we can do there. Like,
hey, that would be good.
Hey, man, a good RPG is what Xbox needs, to be honest.
Yes.
I really feel like some of these studios, because obviously some, like, I think Obsidian, Ninja Theory, and the second studio Playground is going to get the most clout. And I think the reason that especially cause I think Obsidian about to make something fire, and because they kept saying that they had a really good idea but they couldn't fund it.
They're Pillars of Eternity, right? Right.
Yeah, they couldn't fund it. Yeah, Obsidian. They actually had to cancel like 4 or 5 games. Obsidian did, but like they take. What you could tell is a lot of people can take concepts. Like, a lot of people ain't worked on Fallout games. A lot of people ain't worked on.
You cutting out. No, I think we lost him.
The different jobs. So, I mean, I'm curious to see what they make, because I do think that.
It's that. Yo, Adam, I don't know if you noticed, but you keep like botting out like extensively.
Is that better? Is that better?
Yeah.
I said I think that their plan is going into next gen with Western RPGs.
Western?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I definitely agree.
It should, man.
They should. It's a good area to go into.
Think about
The Witcher,
Think about just like Obsidian and the second studio Playground. Like, just them 2 studios, I guarantee you make 8 fives and above. Just them 2 studios.
You said Obsidian and who?
In the Playground second.
I have a question. What Booty said at the end of the video, he said that he's going to remain. Those 2 are going to remain independent. He's like, they're going to remain. Did he say that about the other studios? They bought it at.
They're all independent. They all. How it goes is What they mean by independent, it's like what Sony
They're just
does.
gonna make
with
what
their
they want to
studios,
do.
is
It's gonna make what they want to do. Microsoft's gonna
They
support
might
them.
say that, but they are going to, keep them realistic about shit. You can't spend 8 years making a game.
Yeah.
Ain't no
Yeah.
studio gonna let you do that. Like
Hey,
they're
but
gonna
we
have
to like kind of
okay,
cut it. Like
okay. They're gonna have deadlines, things like that. They're gonna have to still pitch them ideas. They can't just make anything they want.
Yeah. See,
But
I think Microsoft is not going to tell them what to make, but I do think that they're going to kind of make sure that
they're gonna
kind of
monetize
use,
that. At least they make.
they're going to use their distribution, of course,
Because
because
if
they're
you
owned by
don't, I'm
Microsoft.
gonna
They're
say
going to
this
use.
before we clear it. If you don't, you're gonna have Kojima games, games that don't make no fucking sense. No one knows what they
You know
are.
what's funny? I want to say I went back and looked. It's like when I saw 2015 is when Kojima launched Metal Gear Solid, and then Sony announced that he's going to partner with them at the December 2015. Then at E3 2016, he showed that game Death Stranding. So I'm thinking E3 this year is going to be when Microsoft starts showing some of these games. They got to show some of them.
All right,
If they're going to be doing that time. But the thing was that it was a quick turnaround time, And I think the more mystery we have with this thing, the more doubt we're going to get. So they're going to have to start talking, teasing something.
I don't think Microsoft gives a fuck what people think. I don't.
That's not good.
At the end of the day, ain't no
They
more
do care what
damage can
people
be
think.
done
It's
to
their
their
fan
brand.
fest and stuff like that.
Ain't no more
Obviously, they
damage
give
can be
it
done to their brand at this point. It can only go up from here.
was inside Xboxes.
All right, go and close out, Kim.
Please.
All right, guys.
Major Nelson, stop
Thank
it.
you guys for tuning in. Episode 66. Next week, episode 67, we're probably going to touch up on a Game of the Year awards, and then sometime in December, probably like the first week of December, we'll do our Gottis for Planet Xbox. So shout out to the chat, all the donators, and Tiger King and the Raven Flow, and all those who are consistent with your presence, even Mel and Matt. So thank you guys for tuning in. You guys have a wonderful night, and you guys got your outros, anything going on before I hit the log out button?
Fuck all these people.
I want to say shout out to the chat. Shout out to New York Giants fanatic.
You know, it's crazy. I live next door to a Giants player.
Oh man,
yeah. Very. You know what's crazy? It was annoying. I I found this out the hard way because I was about to complain, but if I complain on social media, it wouldn't look too good. But
you live next to OBJ?
No, it's nah. This dude's a rookie. He was drafted this year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
No, but good chat, man. Real good chat.
Yeah, man.
Whoa. Before I leave, I got to put this out there. Final Fantasy 13 is in hands on the X.
Yeah, I saw that.
That shit,
crazy.
I downloaded. Yes, crazy. Yes. If you haven't played it, go play it. It's $7, I think, digital. Go play it.
I'm about to go buy it then.
And
It's definitely worth it.
GameStop has it cheap too. $5.
Yeah, I was told it looks phenomenal.
It's ridiculous.
Oh
It doesn't even look like the same game from the
It doesn't.
$360.
Remaster, basically.
Crazy. Hey, Microsoft gets all the props for their doing their enhanced 360 games this generation and the backward compatibility. That should have came at the beginning of the generation. This would be a different conversation.
Yeah, I'll tell you, that is amazing how they take those games and just do that.
Yeah.
All right.
That's insane.
Are they all enhanced or just one of them?
I think all of them. All of them.
All of them.
And is 13 that looks the best? You said.
13
all
always looked the
they all
best.
look good.
2 and 13.
Yeah, 13 was like the height of the franchise. Go ahead and close out.
All right, guys. As always, Xbox is the best box. I am the best bot. Good night or good morning if you're on the other side of the globe. We're out of here. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.